essential conversations. So before we get started, if you're sitting next to someone that you know, please move now. If you're sitting next to someone that you know, please move now. And feel free to move closer to the front so I don't have to scream. Someone you don't know that well. Like if you saw them on the street, you probably think them like one of the names that you know that you know them. Feel free to move closer so I don't have to scream. Feel free to move closer so I don't have to scream. All right, cool. So we all moved around. Obviously, we're going to be a little bit vulnerable today, but what I want you to do before we get started, I want you to assess your comfort level. Now, many educators avoid talking about race and racism. It can be really hard because sometimes people say stupid things. And when they say stupid things that are race-related, what are they usually called? Racist. Sometimes people don't say racist things. Sometimes they say stupid things. You have to look at the intent. How many of you know someone who's stupid? Raise your hand. All right, look around the room. We all do. All right? So what we need to do is find where we lie on this continuum. I think this is always a great starting point to see where you are in your own self-actualization and your self-realization. Would you rather not talk about race? You're usually comfortable talking about it, or you're very comfortable talking about it. So find someone who's around you, someone you don't have a conversation with that often, all right? And I want you to assess where you are and have that conversation with them, all right? I'm going to give you about 1 minute to do so. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Let's zoom in on some of these conversations. Let's see what people are talking about. What's your name? Francisca. Everybody say, hi, Francisca.
Hi, Francisca.
Where are you in your comfort level?
I'm usually comfortable.
Okay. Why do you say you're usually comfortable?
Because I don't mind talking about it. I actually like having conversations, even if it's people I don't know well. I try to tailor the conversation so I don't go into a fight with somebody I don't know.
Right. How many of you know someone who's always ready to fight whenever it has to come to this conversation? It's really hard to have this conversation. How many of you don't know someone like that? Okay, that means it's you. All right, so what we have to do is we have to break outside of that box and make sure that we're more open. Because we should not be having race and diversity conversations like my friend Gumball. Does anybody know Gumball? Anybody ever seen Gumball? Okay. All right? You're not supposed to have conversations like this. They are not effective.
Have you ever tried whole grain bread? It's far better for you. Not everyone can afford organic stores, Carmen. Maybe you should check your privilege. I just meant that eating too much processed food is a big factor in weight gain and what? Big people shouldn't be proud of who they are? No, of course not. I mean, ask your doctor and he will tell you. He? Why would you assume the doctor is a he? Is it because you assume a woman can't be a doctor? What is this?
All right. Can't have conversations like that, all right? It's not really effective, does not help, and does not want to make people feel vulnerable to have this conversation. What's your name?
Andrea.
Everybody say, hey, Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
Andrea, where are you?
I'm usually comfortable.
Okay, talk to me about it.
I guess because I was telling them I was raised not really to talk about it, and
Okay.
then when I met some of my friends in college and at work, I got more comfortable even with people I don't know. And like she said, I tend to tailor it and kind of pull back a little bit with people I don't know, but
Right.
I still am okay talking about it.
Very nice. Keep your staff. Talk to some other people. Boom in the back. back. What's your name?
Shelly.
Everybody say, hey, Shelly.
Hey.
This is one of these presentations where you don't have to raise your hand. Everyone will get called on. Okay, Shelly, talk to us. Where do you find yourself?
I'm theater leader.
Okay. What's to do about it?
I'm trying to be a blind person, not I
Okay. And it can be really hard sometimes, right?
Well, people get out pretty good about.
You're like, somebody shows me their true colors the first time, I believe that.
Usually not the first time.
Okay. All right. And it can be really hard because how many of you have those friends that are like, oh, well, I don't see color? Anybody have any friends like that? All right. It can be really hard to deal with individuals like that. So I work at Westchester University of Pennsylvania. Right now there's snow. So when I came here and there was no snow, I was very happy. All right. And I have a colleague who works at my institution. And on this one particular day, we were learning about privilege, which was interesting that Gumball was talking about that. And we were watching the movie 13. Has anybody ever seen the documentary 13 on Netflix? If you have not seen it, raise your hand. All right, boom. Homework assignment. It is the only programming on Netflix that you do not need a username or password to stream. Therefore, you should go watch it. Write that down, 13. All right? And we're having this conversation, and she's crying next to me. And I was like, do not look at this woman. Because if you look at her, she don't want to talk to you after the program. You don't want to deal with that. And she's like crying during this. I'm like, don't look, don't look, don't look. And I look over at her. She's like, can we talk after the program? I'm like, yes, damn. All right. And at the end of the program, she comes up to me and she says, I am so sorry for my whiteness. I was like, what does that mean? She's like, well, you know, in the documentary they were talking about white privilege, and I needed to talk to you about that, and we'll talk about that later on in the program. But she's like, I just want you to know that I don't see you as a color. I just see you as Justin. As if I woke up this morning and just like discovered I was black today. Like, oh my gosh. All right. She was like, I just don't see color. So we have to be able to ensure that we are not letting people get away with that. What I mean by that is by not saying you don't see my color means that you are not seeing me. Now, being black is a part of who I am. It doesn't define or say this is all that I am. So I asked her, I said, you don't see color? She said, no. I said, do you drive? And she's like, yeah. I was like, what you do when you come to a traffic stop? She's like, well, I normally stop. I'm like, how if you don't see color? All right? We have to be able to address those things as they come up. Because everybody has different definitions for diversity. Like, for example, if I said, give me your best definition for diversity, what's your name? Yeah, you? Paula. Everybody say, hey, Paula.
Hey, Paula.
Paula, there's no wrong answer here. Give me your definition of diversity. Okay, that's very nice. All right. And normally when I ask somebody to give me a definition of diversity, that's immediately what they say. They talk about the differences. Now, don't look at me. Look around the room. Look at your colleagues. All right. Immediately when we talk about diversity, you can still look at your colleagues. Don't y'all look good this morning? All right. They immediately start talking about the differences. We never talk about the similarities first when we're talking about diversity, because the things that keep us similar are almost just as important as the things that make us different. But how come we don't talk about similarities first? Why do you think? Looks like you have something and tip of your tongue. What was your name?
I mean, but you asked
Who are you?
First, my name is Kiana.
Everybody say, hey, Kiana.
Hey, Kiana.
Go ahead.
Hey, that's okay. But you asked her what
You said
the
Tiana?
Tiana.
I'm so sorry.
Like,
Stressing it. Everybody say,
frog.
very nice. Everybody say, hello, Tiana.
Hello, Tiana.
I didn't mean, I was just saying you asked her what is the definition of diversity,
Mhm.
right? And I don't know my Latin very good, but I'm sure in the root of diversity, it has something to do with that difference. So
Right.
that's what is focused upon at large, right? So it's natural, I think, that one would define things based on what is most prevalent in our discussion.
Give it 2 seconds. All right. And we make that prevalent. So you're absolutely correct. I like to celebrate similarities before we jump into our differences. So let's go ahead and jump into some similarities. Our next activity is called I Like That. Let me everybody say, I like that.
I like that.
Or you can say it better than that. I like that.
I like that.
All right. I'm going to give you some places, some themes, some people, maybe some TV shows. And if you like it, you will say,
I like that.
Texas A&M University.
I like that.
You didn't even say anything. She doesn't even work here. All right. I'll let you pass. It's only what, almost 9:30. Okay. Texas A&M dining facilities. You have a full operational Starbucks downstairs. All right. Our Starbucks on our campus of 20,000 students is a closet. Okay. So be lucky. All right? Netflix. Netflix and chill? She's the only one laughing, so either she's the only one that knows it or she's the only one. Okay, we'll go with that one. All right, anybody watch Hulu? All right, what are y'all watching on TV right now? What is your show of choice?
I don't want to say.
Go ahead.
I've been on all the different streaming services have all of these real life murder.
Okay. What's your murder show of choice this week?
I just finished watching that. Someone selling the kidnap. Well, I did listen to the Bundy tape, but the one abducted in plain sight.
Okay. Anybody watching Abducted in Plain Sight?
That was so disturbing.
Okay.
But I watched it.
You're not the only one watching it. All right. Anybody else? What are you watching?
Umbrella.
Umbrella.
Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy. Okay, go to staff. There we go.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I heard really good things about that show. I can put that. My students keep trying to get me to watch this show called You. Has anybody heard of this show called You?
My students are trying to get me to watch that.
How many? Okay, we got 2 people. Anybody else's students tell them to watch the show You? All right, you got one. Did you watch it? Was it good? Girl, you puzzled. All right. She didn't think about it. It's good in a bad way. Okay. Interesting. Anybody else? All right. Eating.
I like it.
Barbecue.
I like it.
Texas.
I like it.
I said, hey, how you doing this morning? No one corrected me this time. This is my 6th time here at Texas A&M, and every time I come, I usually say, hi, everybody. Everyone's like, you're supposed to say howdy. Okay, I'm sorry. The last time I came, the Eagles had just won the Super Bowl, so I made some Dallas Cowboy jokes. Yeah, it went over very well. Traveling. Sleeping. Sleeping forever.
I like that.
That means you're dead. So obviously, we have some things that keep us a lot more similar than different. But yet, we still focus on the differences. And I think when we focus on the differences, that creates areas of barriers and things that do not connect us. And that can make talking about race and racism very, very hard, especially for some individuals who don't want to engage in that conversation, who don't want to be vulnerable to open up to have that dialogue, and especially for people who want to have this kind of conversation but don't know everything about it. How many of you feel like you would engage more in these conversations if you had a little bit more background on it? Because sometimes people are trying to just get you on stuff. Well, what do you know about this law? And you're just like, well, all right, I was just trying to see where you were coming from. Hey, this is where I'm coming from. And so many times people are just trying to prove you wrong. Instead of trying to understand your heart, they're trying to prove you as someone who doesn't have any knowledge. So, find that person that's around you. What I want you to do is have this dialogue. Why is it so hard to talk about race and racism? What makes it difficult? Try to find someone you don't talk to that often, who is a different partner than you had the first time. 3, 2, 1, go. I know, he's making you interact with each other. Oh, God.
Well, I don't know how I didn't grow up back then, so I just hear things. But I've never heard of anything Yes, I do. My 4 walls are medicine. And I've heard when I'm walking by, why do we have that day off? They can call me about that. Why do we have this day off? And I'm telling them, yeah, they're writing it actually. And look at, again, like, they don't look at the words that come out of it.
All the way to toilet. Do not rush.
Well, that's what they
All right, let's regroup. Let's see what we talked about in our small group. Let's see what we talked about here. What is the hard part about having a conversation about race and racism? My man, what's your name? Everybody say, hey, Dave.
Hey, David.
David. I keep seeing these level up shit. What is this about? Keep making me level up. I've been seeing them all over campus. Okay. Okay, cool. I don't know how I get one of those shirts, small plug. All right, so, talk to me, David. Why has it got to be so hard?
I really don't like smoking.
Okay. It seems like another problem for another day, another speaker. Okay.
Me personally, I'm not super invested into the conversation.
Okay.
So unless there's like prompts for it, I don't have motivation to go.
Right, right. Just like I used to my other example, you wouldn't sit down with someone and say, hey, let's talk about institutional injustice. All right, yeah. It's really hard to start a conversation with that. What do you think? What did you talk about? What was your name again? Yes. Motown. Yes. Talk to us. What did you talk about in your small groups?
Well, we talk about that it's rare that we talk about this at work.
Okay.
We also meet people and so it's hard, unless we're in a very
Right. Okay. Very nice. Sir, what is your name again?
John.
John. Everybody say, hey, John.
Hey, John.
John, what did you talk about in your small group?
Well, we were saying it's hard because I think there is some residual guilt. that
Okay, talk to me about it.
guilt, and just because you recognize that you have a certain privilege and or come from that, and also I think sometimes even with someone you agree with, you don't want to sort of introduce a wedge that may divide you.
Right. Absolutely. One more person. One more person. Man, what you talking about? What's your name?
Amanda.
Everybody say, hey, Amanda.
Hey, Amanda.
Amanda, talk to us.
Well, we were talking about how it's difficult because a lot of times people may not come to a conversation, well, they're on the defensive.
Mhm.
They just start out on the defensive and they don't like to, the term of assume positive intent.
Right.
They don't want to have
give
a
you the benefit of the doubt,
conversation,
right.
They don't want to have a conversation. They want to defend themselves or else prove that you're wrong.
Right.
And not have a dialogue.
Right. It's as if people have to choose one side or the other. Would you also agree that you're either like for America or you're either for Donald Trump or you're alright, don't laugh. Alright. It's hard, especially when we gotta put each other and we don't have this gray area. But can you really tell what side someone's standing on by just looking at them? Let's figure it out. Leave your stuff where it is. Join me up front. Push the chairs out of this way. More room here. This next activity we're about to engage in is a little activity I like to call, I'm moving for stuff that's touching you. Alright? Come on up. There's a little activity I like to call this or that. Say with me, this or that. Alright? And what's going to happen is, yes, you may sit. Alright? If anybody actually needs to sit, you can, but for those who want to, come on up and engage. You can sit, you can stand here, it's okay. How can I turn this projector off just for 2 seconds?
That's
Oh,
gonna be a
go
good
through
answer.
seconds of ten.
Alright. What's going to happen is, I'm going to give you 2 sides. Because there's always 2 sides to every coin. You're either going to choose this side, or you're going to choose
That side.
Alright? We're going to start off really easy, and we're going to get it a little harder. Now, I got to make this game just a little bit more fun. My man, what's your name?
Chance.
Everybody say, what's up, Chance?
Hey,
Chance.
Chance.
I'm going to throw a monkey wrench right in the middle of this game. What do you think I'm going to do? pepperoni or sausage? Both. And mushroom. Meat lovers. Pizza Hut stuffed crust. Yes. All right. That's you? That's the monkey wrench. You must choose. There is no middle. All right. I don't care if it's Beyonce Lemonade. I'm an independent woman that don't need no man. Doesn't matter. All right. You must choose this side or that side, even if you don't agree with either. All right. Again, gonna start very easy, then get a little harder. Let's engage. Cats or dogs? Cats or dogs?
My name is Cat. I have cat.
Maybe this is good that this is good. Sometimes people try to hop on both sides. This is good. All right, make a mental note. Play this game in front of a projector. All right, let's talk to some cat people. All right, why'd you choose cats?
Because they're awesome and independent, and I can leave them alone when I go on vacation.
Thank you.
All right. And they don't stink, so they're independent. How many of you have a cat? 2 cats? Oh, cats on both sides. Interesting.
You're in the library.
3 cats? 4 cats? More than 5?
I do. Mine are outside though.
Okay, I was gonna say maybe we need to talk after the program. Okay, all right. All right. So are cats better than dogs?
No.
Yeah, you're allowed to talk. Listen, I encourage communication. You're okay. What were you saying?
The person with 2 cats and 6 dogs is on the cat side.
Who's that?
They couldn't choose both.
I'm assuming that's you. Okay, so why'd you choose this side? You have 6 dogs.
Because you said, I love them all.
Okay, interesting.
Well, the dogs can keep each other company better than the cats can,
All
right?
right. Can cats keep you company?
Yeah.
You keep cats.
Oh, what did you say? Say, you keep cats company? Interesting. Are dogs better than cats?
Yes.
Who said yes? Someone gave it a definitive yes. Yes, talk to me about it.
I prefer dogs, and I mean, I just think that they're better. They're more affectionate.
Ooh.
They're loud.
Ooh.
If you have dogs, you're going to get out of the house. Yes.
You have big dogs, you're going to get out of the house that day.
Yes,
You have to lock them.
Yeah, well, that's
I walk my cat.
they make you exercise,
They make you exercise.
which is a health thing.
Interesting. Someone else over here, someone else over
Until
here.
you catch the flu.
Right, we're
Well, there are alarms, you know. Somebody knocks on the door. That's our doorbell. Oh,
Mine
if someone
triple if
knocks
they
on
try
the
to
door,
get to
the
the
cat
She
will
says her
break
cat's
in.
tripping when she's trying to get to the door. Interesting. Calling or texting? Calling or texting? FaceTime counts as a call. Calling, texting.
It better be recorded.
Okay.
If you want to talk to me, don't call me.
Sure your name's not Haley?
No, you're okay. I was back there. All right, let's talk to my texters. All right, how many of you text over 400 times a day?
Personal or at work?
Just texting, period. Look, at any time that someone says a point that you really agree with, you can switch your side at any time, all right? You're not permanently glued to where you are. You just can't be in the middle, all right? So, more than 400 times a day. Okay. Anybody more than 400 times over here? Oh, good. All right. Well, listen, I went to the New York Academy of Arts last week, and I asked the people that were in that train. They were like, 400? Ha! I do 400 in the morning. I'm like, oh. Okay. All right, very cool. All right, how many of you text in the super, super long, I'm writing everything? All right, now how many of you are the texters where you're like, hey, how you doing? Click. I'm doing good. Click. When are we getting together? Click. Question mark. Click. And you get pew, pew, pew. All right, we hate y'all. Phones are like, okay. Interesting. Why texting over calling? Yes, what's your name? Everybody say, hey, Kelsey.
Hey, Kelsey.
Kelsey, talk to us.
It's just more efficient, and then you have a record of the conversation.
Okay. Anybody ever text Kelsey? You're on the record. You're on the
You
record.
forget the plans, you know, you can go back.
Memory aid.
Oh, interesting. Everybody still have like their text delivery alert on. You should take it off. so that when you text someone, it says delivered at 12:45. All right, I took mine off. No one should never know if I read it. All right? Because what if you want to, not let them know that you read it? There's an excuse. What's your name?
Bill.
Everybody say, hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Bill, why did you choose texting?
For the same reason. And it's also less intrusive. Because when I call, I don't know if I'm interrupting or something. Whereas I can text and trust they will receive it. And, at their leisure, they will reply back to it.
Oh, and you
Yes.
can text them and say, is it okay if I call?
Yes.
Interesting. See, y'all are a bunch of intruders over here. That's what Bill said. Why did you choose calling over texting? Time consuming.
Yes.
Huh?
I think reading.
Misunderstanding.
Yes.
See?
I think calling is a lot more efficient than texting.
Right.
You clearly never called my mother. Yeah.
Okay. What's your name?
Leah.
Everybody say, hey, Leah.
Hey,
Leah. Let's have some mommy-daughter issues right here. Okay, so Leah, talk to us right now.
I chose texting because if I call my mom, I'm going to be on the phone for at least 2 hours, and there will be 8 rabbit holes, and she'll have to walk the dogs at least twice.
Okay. So you want to text so you can just get to the point? Sorry, Mom, gotta go.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Can you have misunderstandings in text messages?
Oh, yeah.
You can over the phone.
Especially with autocorrect. Yeah.
Oh! Right. Interesting.
Or the voice activation when you're talking to it.
Right.
And you don't read it.
Siri's not reliable.
Oh, yes.
Neither is Alexa, neither is Google, all
My
of them.
sister sent me something and I was like, what is she saying?
Mm.
And so when I called her, she said, well, I was driving. I wanted to text you. And there was a lot of foul language in it. And I was like, well, I know what you're saying.
My card tells me what the text messages are, but it says it so formal. Like, F this, and I will go. Have a great day. I'm like, right? It says it so formally, If the text messages can match the emotion, and the car would scream at me, okay? Can you tell emotion through text?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, Bitmoji. Can you tell sarcasm through text?
It depends on
Oh, that's how well you know the person. So here we go. We're back to having relationships. Love or money? Love or money? Remember, you were in education. Love or money? I say your shirt says be kind, so I was waiting to see what side you chose. All right. Stop some people over here. What's your name? Everybody say, hey, LaQuanda. Hey, LaQuanda. Money over love? Oh, if you agree with that, give us some snaps.
Yeah.
Snaps on both sides. Interesting. What else? Why'd you choose this side?
Oh, this is going to sound pathetic, but I don't have very much money. I don't have a romantic relationship, so since I don't have either, if I have to choose the one I want more of, I'd rather have more money.
Hey, there you go! I'll give you all hugs like, who hurt you? Interesting. What do you think about what they said? And some of your peoples are gone. Okay, talk to us. What's your name? Who are you?
I'm Shelby.
Everybody, hey, Shelby.
Hey,
Shelby.
Shelby.
Talk to us.
I love my husband, but there is something to be said for having financial security on your own. And I can talk to you, but I can say I would rather have that before I prioritize one.
Okay. Very nice. What's your name?
Shannon.
Shannon. Everybody say, hey, Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
Talk to us. Why did you choose love? I thought you were going to find a loophole. Like, well, I chose this side because I love money. Bam! Shannon, all right. Church, no church. Church, no church. We're about to get a little harder.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I know. Learning some stuff about your colleagues.
I'll choose
highly conservative and highly, how do I say, it's like against a lot of things that I believe in and agree with, and so at the moment I don't really go, but I'm always looking to find one that fits me better.
I was gonna say church. I grew up in church also. I actually went to a Southern Baptist related undergraduate school. I'd say both of those places have to be one of the most unwelcoming and hateful environments to live in.
Yep. Yes. Do you have your hand raised?
It's true.
Talk to me about it.
I'm very much a Christian. I talk to God every day, several times a day. I don't feel like I have to go to a church in order to have a relationship with Him.
So when you chose no church, what do you think people were thinking? Not these people.
I think here you get used to it because it's the first, well, usually second question out of somebody's mouth would be this, like, where do you work for your church?
Wow.
So you get used to telling people you don't go to church.
Wow. Doesn't happen in Philadelphia. It's normally like, where are you from? Are you an Eagles fan? First couple questions. On this side. Why did you choose this side? Okay. You believe it? You go to church. Okay. Why did you choose this side? Sense of community. Sense of community. Interesting. Are there good people in the church?
Sure.
Are there bad people in the church?
Absolutely.
Are there good people outside of the church?
Yes.
Are there bad people outside of the church?
Yes.
Interesting. So who's right in this situation?
It's a matter of opinion.
It's a choice. It's what's right for you.
If it doesn't matter, how come we make it such a big thing in this country? Because the only religion in this country is Christianity, right? The only place you can worship a God is in a church, right? Or do we live under a false assumption that everybody in here believes in God? Because all I said was church, no church. Privilege, no privilege. Privilege is our last one. Privilege, no privilege. That's a great question.
Yeah, I didn't understand the statement.
That's good. Privilege, no privilege. It's like it's ambiguous on purpose. It's like it's up for your interpretation. Privilege, no privilege.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to assume. See where people pick up the pieces. Privilege, no privilege. I love hearing the conversations that happen for this one. You know, like, hearing people. Let's talk about it. Why'd you choose no privilege? What's your name? Ramika. Everybody say hello, Ramika.
Hello, Ramika.
How'd you choose no privilege?
There's no background in what you're saying. I'm not sure what you mean by it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna, I just decided to stay put. There's no context behind it.
You're right. There's no context, but people move. Would you think people put their own context behind it? So why do you think people chose that side? Now we're putting context in it. Just flip a little bit of the context. So talk to me about it. Why do you think people chose that side?
They feel a sense of privilege in something. Or have engaged in something where, an aha moment for them, like, I've been privileged to this and that.
Right. Interesting. It's like you use the title of the game to incorporate in your answer. I like that. High five. Here we go. Man. All right. What do you think? Why'd you choose this side? Who's your name? Everybody say, hey, Jill.
Hey, Jill.
Why did you choose this side?
I took a side for operational. I was like, oh, well, where just feels like they're
Right. So why do you think they chose this side? Do you think they want privilege? Maybe they think that privilege exists. Maybe they want privilege. Maybe they want to use their privilege to help others. I'm not sure. Let's go ask. Who do I want? Who do I want? I want you. What's your name? Me? No, not you. I okay. Crystal. Everybody say, hey, Crystal.
Hey, Crystal.
So far, everybody's going at least once, right?
Yeah.
All right. Crystal, see, you were trying to hide out. Caught you. All right. Crystal, talk to us. Why'd you choose this side?
I chose privilege because, if you're asking someone to make a choice between having privilege and not having privilege, of course they want to have privilege. It's something people need to pay attention to because that's why there's institutional racism. Because people want privilege, and if we pay attention to that and actively try to make things
clearly you would all choose privilege, right? According to Chris, which said all of you, so why didn't you choose it? Everybody would want privilege, right? Too many steps to get to the other side. We're all privileged in this room, right? We all benefit from the same privileges, right?
No.
I mean, you all work for Texas A&M. You all got here the exact same way, right?
No.
Jumping the same hurdles. All of you getting paid the same, right? But you're doing the same work, right? You should be all getting paid the same amount, right? Everybody have a seat. Very nice. Let's process this. Obviously, there's some learning outcomes from this activity. There's a reason why we did it. Let's talk about it. Let's debrief. Let's debrief. Purpose. Why did we play this or that? What were we supposed to get out of it? Why was it important?
You wanted to force us to choose something.
Yeah, right. It's like I wanted to force you. It's almost like an illustration of life, because in life, many of you have been forced to do things that you didn't like. Like, how many of you had parents that forced you to believe things, and now that you're a little bit older, you're like, sorry, mom and dad didn't believe every single thing. Okay? How many of you have been to religious affiliations that are like, you must believe this, and if you don't, you are not affiliated with this group? Anybody ever have experiences like that? It's also like our best friends. How many of you have friends that swear to goodness that they know what they're talking about? They have no clue what they're talking about, but they want you to believe what they're talking about? All right, how many of you don't have friends like that? All right, that means it's you. All right? So, what we have to do is break outside of this notion that everybody knows everything and that we have to force people to believe what they want to believe. People change their opinions as people grow and develop and learn new information. They change their thought process. We have to learn to unlearn. And more importantly than that, we have to have our students to be able to do that as well. So I want you to make your box. Make your box right in front of you. This is our box of reality. We're going to be talking about reality in a second when we're talking about perspective. And on 3, I want you to make your loudest box-breaking noise, and I want you to break your box. That looks more like a rectangle. All right? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom. All right, I like the boom. All right? What else? This or that? What's the purpose? Why go through it? Both sides can have a good point. Was either side right? Right, both sides can be right. How many of you suffered not having a gray area? How many of you was that kind of hard for? Why was that hard for you?
Because I like to try to see things from different perspectives, right?
Uh-huh.
I do not like being forced into one side or the other as just as much as I don't like to with other people. So I didn't appreciate not being able to be fine.
I'm sorry. I didn't appreciate it. It's as if I almost had a point to make by forcing you to do it. Why did you have a hard time?
It's just not a binary world.
It's not. It's fluid. Right, absolutely. All right. Yes.
And I think it's important to see that people that you know and respect may have a different opinion than you.
Right. Well, I think it's important for all of us to have different opinions, because what if we were presented with one thing and we all thought the same thing? It's like you're jumping ahead. Stop it. All right? We're going to be playing a perspective activity. Because if you don't have different perspectives, you can look at things from a multitude of different ways. How many of you watch the news? All right? Now, the news is very interesting, because if you watch the news, you might be misinformed, but if you don't watch the news, you are uninformed. Because the news can tell you a multitude of different things. Like, for example, if I was a man from the Middle East and I had a mass shooting, what would people say about me in the news? Terrorist. If I was black, and I am, right, and I had a mass shooting in the news, what would they say about me?
It was racially motivated.
Racially motivated, thank you. Someone said thug, yes, absolutely. All right, better than my last group. My last group last week, they were like, misguided youth. I was like, whoa. calm down, all right? Let's take it from here to here. If I happen to be white and I have a mass shooting, then what do they say about me in the news? Oh, we had a bad day. All right? We have to talk about white privilege. It's a real thing. Now, when I talk to people about white privilege, some people are really angry. Like, I don't suffer or benefit from white privilege. And I'm like, well, they're like, I worked really, really hard to get to where I was. How many of you worked really hard to get to where you were? Raise your hand. I don't benefit from white privilege because it was really hard for me growing up as a kid. How many of you had a rough childhood? It was hard for you growing up? Raise your hand. I don't benefit from white privilege because everything I got with my own 2 hands. I pulled myself up by my own bootstraps, and it was hard. Raise your hand if you can identify that. All right? So when we look at white privilege, we have to look at it in the frame and in the lens of what it truly means. benefiting from white privilege doesn't mean your life wasn't hard. Benefiting from white privilege doesn't mean that you just benefit because you're white. Benefiting from white privilege doesn't mean you didn't work hard or that your childhood wasn't hard. All it's saying is that the color of your skin is never going to be the reason why it's hard. All right? And just because people benefit from white privilege doesn't make them bad. When we think about white privilege, we have to look at the system in which it was set up. Is the system equal for everyone? Is the system set up for everyone to be successful? All right? Just because the system is set up. The system was set up before any of us even got here. So we're not responsible for the past system. We are, however, responsible for the system moving forward. So people who benefit from white privilege aren't evil. Like, I don't think white people wake up in the morning like, ha! Yes, still whites. No, no one does that, all right? Just like minorities or people of color don't wake up in the morning and go, oh man, not again. Like, it doesn't happen that way, all right? But we have to be able to take an opportunity to look at each other through each other's shoes. Sometimes we can learn some things. So pass out some cards. If I pass you a card, do not look at your card, all right? Because I don't think we take enough time to really pay attention. And I'm going to make this even more fun for myself. I'm going to look at whose cards I'll do this in. So that looks like you're a fun group. Let's dive into this here. Huh? I know, I like dogs, alright? I like dogs, I don't like cats, alright? I have bad experience. Okay, so what we're going to do is, some of you have gotten a card. Do not look at the card. What I need you to do is hold your card up and put it right in front of your face. I'll tell you if your card is flipped the right way. Yes, yes? No, don't look. There you go.
I can
Flip
still
this card around.
You're
You're going to flip this card around. You're good, you're good, you're good, you're good, and you're good as well. What you're all going to do is you're going to stand up and you're going to have interactions with these individuals, how you think people in society interact with these individuals, all right? The people who have the card, you don't know who you are. You're just simply going to be having conversations with people. Let's see if you can guess who you are based upon how people in society treat you, all right?
This is an episode of The Office.
Yes, but we're going to do some more, constructiveness, all right, Michael, all right? There's also going to be a monkey wrench in this activity as well. All right, everybody stand up. Let's have some interactions. 3, 2, 1, go. Treat these individuals how they're treated in society.
Oh, that was really good. Wait, would I know it? Do I just know it?
All right, keep walking around, have some more interactions with different people.
I get where you're going. Oh,
Just interact with it.
All right, here's the monkey wrench. Are you ready? Here's the monkey wrench. Are you ready for this monkey wrench? You're going to stop treating these people how you think they're treated in society. I now want you to treat these individuals how you think they are treated on campus. All right? So change, it might change who you think you are. You might think that you got it, but now I'm changing it. So now, switch with some more people, all right? I want you to treat these individuals how you treat them on campus. 3, 2, 1, go.
I don't want to do this.
Wow. All right, everybody have a seat. Nice job, everybody. Nice job. Have a seat. Thank you for participating in my little social experiment. Let's see what we came up here with. I heard some very interesting interactions.
What do you want to do?
You think you got it?
You want to come here? Where do you want
I'm going to come to each person by person, all right? So we see if we can get this, all right? Who wants to go first? Who thinks the thing that... Okay.
Okay, I want to go first because...
All right, what do you think was on the other side of your car?
Well, I finally figured it out with the last comment.
What was?
Trans.
Trans, it was. Absolutely. Give a round of applause. Nice shout.
But it was brilliant. Because the first people I met, everybody's eyes just got really round, and it was like deer in headlights, like they didn't know what to say. And it was...
In society?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just like...
How many of you also feel like that's how you personally feel in society? Maybe people look at you like a deer in headlights. Because some of these, what you'll understand, is not just made up experiences. Some of these scenarios in this social experiment are lived experiences for some individuals. So was it better when you got on campus?
Actually, no.
How was it when you got on campus?
Well, I think they really portrayed what it really would be, because I immediately got which bathroom do you go to.
Wow. Because that's like the only thing that we're always paying attention to.
Exactly. And then it was like, is that a boy's name or a girl's name? And so it's
Instead of
like,
just
that's
properly
what I
asking
kinda
people
knew.
what their pronouns are, because if someone tells you your pronouns, all your job is to do is to use them. That's simple. Why do we care so much about where people go to the bathroom? Like, that Target thing made no sense. I was like, people who are identified trans have been using the same bathroom since the dawn of time. Like, why do we care? Just let people pee and poop where they want to in peace. Yeah, it's crazy. Yes.
Do you have children?
Do I have children?
Yes.
Yes, I have one. I have a girl.
Then don't care who's in the bathroom with your child in a public bathroom?
Well, when I go to the bathroom, I take my child with me. Because there could be predators who identify as men, or predators that can identify themselves as women. So,
However.
me personally, I go with my kids, but that's just a personal
Until
choice.
what age?
My child's 3. She'll be 4 next week.
So when she's 8, 9, or 8?
It's a she.
Okay.
I probably won't go to the bathroom, but I'll probably be in the vicinity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but that's also making a false assumption that everybody who's trans is someone who wants to hurt somebody.
No, I'm making the assumption that they're not necessarily trans.
Anybody.
We let anybody go to the bathroom they
Right.
want to.
Right. Anybody can. Right. So having gender specific bathrooms can be helpful in some ways in society. Or family bathroom, absolutely. Or individual stall. Right. When you think about it, your bathrooms in your own home, they're all gender inclusive. You know, every single bathroom. You're not like, can't poop here, gotta poop downstairs. Like, no. You know, right. Some houses, yes, alright. But like, I don't know, people, and I'm not saying you, but some people really have an issue with individuals who are trans. And you know, I had to do a trans 101 training last week, and I did it with a bunch of group of males, and they were just not with this trans thing. Justin, I can't get down with this trans stuff. And I'm like, why? They're like, cuz I could be talking to a woman, and she have a penis. I'm like, okay. They're like, well, she might have a penis. I'm like, okay. So what am I gonna do if she has a penis? I was like, I don't know. What are you gonna do? Like, I'm gonna have to ask her. I'm like, yeah, that might not go over well on the first date. Might have something like this. Hi, my name's Justin. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I see you around campus sometimes. You know, would you like to go out sometimes? Sure. Great. Do you have a penis? All right. Very awkward conversation. All right. Very awkward conversation. All right.
That tells me that you're probably gay if you're asking for
Right. Might be. You might identify as being gay. So like, I asked the students, I was like, is that a conversation you would have? And they were like, no. And I said, so what we have to do is start paying attention to people, all right? And you get to learn things about people as you get to know people. Going back to this making relationships thing, all right? Because the ability to have effective relationships then builds this trust, which then people can share things with you, all right? Interesting experiences. Who else? Who else? You're all gonna know. Yes, in the back. What's your name? Everybody say, hey, Patrick.
Hey, Patrick.
So I knew this one really well. I'm pretty sure it's a gay person. I am a gay person.
Okay.
So I knew this pretty well.
How do people treat you in society?
Pretty much they do like, oh, I know someone in my family is gay.
Oh, right. I couldn't even tell you were gay. Right? Because everybody that's gay is obviously attracted to someone else's family member or someone's friend.
We're all the same.
How do people treat you on campus?
Interestingly enough, I think people didn't want to say anything. I think that is how it went. I don't think people feel that they're allowed to say. I think it's there's so many representations of gay people in the media and life. They don't feel like even if they had a prejudice that they would feel comfortable presenting it.
Right.
Because it's not acceptable.
Right. It's hard. It's hard not to be someone that you are. Right? Because some people are like, oh, it's a choice. I don't think people would choose ridicule. I don't think people would choose to hide themselves. I don't think people would choose no. If they do, we might need some help. All right, but it's hard, especially because again, I work in student affairs. I work in residence life and housing services, and I had a student, and it was spring break. It was about maybe 3 years ago. Spring break. It was time for all the students to go home, and I can't go home until the students go home. So no, when the building shuts down at 6, you should probably be out the building at 5:30. All right. When a student who identifies as gay, being in the building, knocked on the door, said, hey, John, time to go home. John said, I can't go home. I'm like, why? Because this is my home. Like, what are you talking about? I can't go back home because I can't be who I am when I'm back home. So that's actually where this game actually came from. If you want to know the origin of the game, it's because some people are treated better on campus than they actually are at home. So when we talk about, oh, we are home, that's our privilege, all right? Because we also don't talk about our homeless youth. I don't know how it is here at Texas A&M, but at other institutions where I go, we have a strong homeless student population. But we just assume because if a student goes to school here, clearly they all have enough money that they can buy a place that is going to provide them shelter. Or we have people that are going to be able to buy them food or have some clothes. And that is a privileged assumption. Where else are we? Where are the cards? Where else you got? Ha ha! What'd you have? Yours is
Blackmail.
Blackmail! How'd you know?
I think John asked me, like, do you play sports?
Oh.
And then your interaction, I was like, I'm clearly expected to know what this is.
Yeah. I dapped you up.
Yes.
Get it?
I totally missed it.
Get it? Dap. All right, yeah.
And there was one other question that somebody asked me that I was like, oh, I know what I am.
How did they treat you on campus? Because I was happy to see you.
I was confused. You were happy. It wasn't quite as confrontational, but still very like, oh, you play sports. Oh, are you okay? Oh, it's Francesca. She said, oh, do you need anything? Do you have money? Do you want to go to lunch?
Interesting. I'm 6'2". I went to school for scholarship for my undergrad. What do you think people thought I was there for?
Basketball.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You said what do people?
Right, that's what people thought. I can't dribble to save my life. I'm the wrong person to have on your team. Now, I can look intimidating on the court. I've always got picked like first or second. I'm like, why? Why are you picking me? All right. Interesting. What else? Yes. What was your card? Asian. How'd you know?
So for the community one, I got asked that why you must be really smart, you know how to cook rice. Somebody asked me how you pronounce your name. And then for campus, it was kind of in the same vein. You must have a 4.0 GPA. Are you in the engineering department?
Wow. Interesting. What do you think about these assumptions? Are they true? All Asian people have 4.0s. All Asian people are smart. Well, my best friend's name is Derek. He's Chinese and he's an idiot. All right? He's dumb. All right, but he always asks me these funny diversity questions. He gives me a lot of material. He says, Justin, when you go to your diversity sessions, I want you to ask people, how come when they see me, they just assume that I'm Chinese? I could be anything, but they always assume that I'm Chinese. And I'm like, well, aren't you Chinese? He's like, yes, but they shouldn't assume. All right? He's a very interesting person, all right? And he didn't get his degree in engineering. He got his degree in public relations. That's where he met. He was a public relations major. And he's just a very interesting person. Are these lived experiences true for everybody? Because those would be called what? Stereotypes. Are stereotypes true? Some people are saying yes. Give me a true stereotype.
Just people that always assume and they talk behind you.
Okay. When people make assumptions, they talk behind you. Okay.
They assume, but it's.
Give me a true assumption. Yes.
Wear cardigans.
Librarians wear cardigans. Do you all wear cardigans?
Yes.
Well,
Ask me about kids, and you'll see the truth.
Okay, interesting. When I go, some people are like, well, all black people like fried chicken. I like fried chicken. Because, all black people like fried chicken. Now, let me take, a quick data poll in the audience. How many of you like fried chicken? Y'all don't look black to me. All right. But can you even tell by looking at people? We have to go beyond what we see. But what we see makes sense of our realities because our reality is based on our perception. We're getting close to perception. All right, so if you're jumping ahead, we're getting there. All right. Who else has a card? Oh, we got a few more people. Okay, what was your card?
Arabic.
Arabic. How'd you know?
Well, the first comment.
Everybody's been right so far.
Yeah, well, the first comment was very difficult on religion. She was, Kelsey had a hard time getting how women are treated, yes. And so then but when it came to university, it was more like, what engineering are you studying?
So all of our Arabic and Asian students at Texas A&M are all engineers.
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
And where did you learn?
It was Arabic. Yeah.
So that when she said engineering, that's when I said Arabic.
How'd you know?
Because I'm from San Antonio, and I knew some people that were there studying for engineering as well.
Interesting.
And so I had met them, and then I was telling them, I said, they have a holy week where they do not communicate with anybody. So I said, I learned something.
That's coming up.
Them. Yeah.
Anybody ever heard of Holy? The Festival of Colors? Have you ever played it on campus? We play it every year. It's awesome. We smack students with chalk. It's amazing. All right? Now, having false assumptions can really get you in trouble. For example, I would be remiss if I came up in front of an audience and always said, well, yeah, I'm a diversity instructor. I've been doing this for 10 years. We write books about it, travel the country, been to 500 campuses. I don't do anything wrong. I don't have any false assumptions. No, we all got things we need to work on because we're all a little prejudiced. If you're prejudiced in this room, please raise your hand. Oh, so the people that raise their hand, you never judged anybody, you never, drew a conclusion about something. Oh, look, everybody's hands are going up. Stop it, all right? We're all a little prejudiced. Take your index finger, point to yourself and say, I'm a little prejudiced. Point to the person next to you and say, and you a little bit prejudiced too. All right? So, what historical significant event happened to our country in 2001? 9/11. All right? And this will show my age. At 9/11, I was 11. All right? Now, before we knew that the Twin Towers were going to be attacked, my family had booked a trip to Disney. All right? Right. The day after 9/11. So we get to the airport. My mom's like, I ain't worked this hard, so we can't go because of the terrorists. We going. All right? So we get to the airport. Everything's in code level red. It took us like 6 hours to get on the flight. It was crazy. So my dad, I'm 6'2", my dad's 6'4". He always gets the aisle seat. At the time, I wasn't 6'4". I can't tell you how tall I was, but I sat in the middle, and next to me was a Middle Eastern man. And we're flying to Florida, and the whole time the Middle Eastern man's going like this and shaking, all right? Now me, as an, right, your mouths are all open, all right? Follow me here, all right? The whole time, he's like shaking during his flight. And literally on the flight, about 5 times, this guy had to, excuse me, get up and go to the back of the plane. As an 11-year-old, what do you think I'm thinking? I want to know what he's doing. I'm trying to tell my dad, and Dad's not listening to me. I'm like, Dad, where's this guy going? We got to say something. He's like, yo, Joseph, it's coming. He's like, no, I heard what they said in the terminal. They said, see something, say something. I'm saying something, all right? I'm trying to identify where all the black people are on the plane so, like, we can all rise up. I'm like, hey, something goes down. I got you, right? Black people just bad bargaining chips. Like, the terrorists really took us. No one would come and save us, all right? We have 5 black. Hello? Like, no one's going to come on this, all right? So he gets up about 5 times, still shaking, and I'm really anxious at this point, all right? Because I'm like, I'm seeing all these images. Imagery is so important, all right? So when we look at the news and we're looking at all these different things, even when students are in K through 12, we look at the images that we have. And you missed 100% of the shots you don't take, and all these different posts. Imagery is so important. At this time, all we're seeing on MSNBC or CNN or on Fox, all we're seeing is all these pictures of brown people doing things. So that was my imagery. Because if we believed every single thing that we saw, you might start to fear people who look just like you. So, we land, obviously, all right? And for the 6th time, this guy gets up and goes to the back. But this time, I followed him where he went, not physically. I like watched where he went. And in the back was his wife and his 2 newborn twins. And those were the babies that were crying during the flight. But if I had just paid attention in the first place, I would have known what he was doing. Because the babies would always cry. This guy got up, went in the back, helped his wife calm them down, and they would come back. False assumptions. They can really mess us up. And I'm not the only one that's a victim of it. I'm not the only person who's a perpetuator of doing that. We all are responsible for making assumptions about people that are not true, based on what we were taught, based on what we learned, based on what we see. We have to be able to challenge those things. And it's a self-realization thing, and it's something you have to work on with yourself. I can sit here and do a 3-hour presentation for days on end. If you don't want to change, you don't get to change. All right? 2 days ago, I got to meet Trayvon Martin's mother. All right? Very interesting experience. Because I had a big question that I wanted to ask her. And I was able to ask her. I wrote about Trayvon in my book. So I gave her a book. I wanted to show what I wrote. I said, I do trainings all over the country. All right? I try to teach people things. I try to get people to understand. I said, but here's my biggest problem. She looked at me and I said, my biggest problem is that I can teach people skills, tips, and tools all the live long day. So what I can't teach people to do is to care. You can't teach people to care. So when we're talking about this or that, there isn't this or that. In this activity, there was no gray area, but there is a gray area in life. But I feel like when it comes to this, there's no gray area. Either people care, people don't care. So I asked her, how do you get people to care? Because during this case, you had a lot of negative stuff. People talking all kind of stuff about this guy, this little boy, that no one knows. He was only 17, he was a baby. And you have all these people on this side talking all this positive stuff and social justice stuff, and people still, either side, don't know what happened. Nobody was there, except for the individuals who were there. And she says, you can't teach people to care. What you can teach people to do is to respect. So, let's see if we had some more respectful interactions. Who else we have? Now, if you want to see a picture of Trayvon's mom, it was dope. I'll show it to you after the presentation. Come on. All right. Again, I did not look at these. All right, it makes it more fun for me. What you have?
I figured it out. One person said, "Hey, are you going to be a yell leader?"
A yell leader? What's that?
We didn't have cheerleaders. It's an Aggie.
Mm-hmm.
It's Aggie cheerleaders, basically.
They're men.
Okay.
They're white uniforms. 5 men.
Oh,
They're elected by the student body and they never.
They're cadets.
They never elected a woman.
Wow.
And very rarely anyone of color.
Yeah.
Wow. It's almost like a real illustration of real life.
About 5 years.
Interesting.
And then another person said, "So are you a supervisor?" So I'm supposed to be a white male.
You're a white male. Congratulations, you got it. All right. Sometimes it just happens this way. I give the white male card to a white male, and they have no idea what they're doing. We're not playing this game today, but I did a version of it. But sometimes I know you're going to be up next. What was on your card?
A black woman.
Oh, how do you know? Again, it was all by choice. It was supposed. Listen, it was supposed to happen this way. All right. How'd you know you were a black woman?
So I didn't know until someone said, "Yes, you are." And then I come around. I'm sure you heard the big laughter. So I didn't do that, but I guess they were laughing because yes, you are black. And then you came and gave me the dad. I was like, okay, yeah, yes you are. But yes, you are. I was like, okay.
It's interesting how like different cultures do certain things, and you can just pull it up. We're going to talk about cultural competency after this too. But I want to go back to yours. So I do a game sometimes. It depends on what group I'm with. And the game is like a version of this, but not so much. It's called stereotype charade. And what I'll do is I'll give the cards out to people. People have to come up front and act out their cards. All right? Which is interesting. Everybody's like, oh my God, that's terrible. No, because what's cool about this activity is that you would be surprised at the amount of guesses of what people guess the person Are all of your experience with everyone from every race the exact same thing? No. So no matter what people are acting out, people are like, white male, black guy, and they're like, dude, that's there's neither of these. I'm Asian woman. Like, you know, you're like, what are you talking about? All right, all depending on what it is. So I gave this white guy the white guy card. He was freaking out. He's like, I don't know how to act this out. I'm like, do your best. He's like, I really don't know what to do. And I was like, just go ahead. Everybody was clapping, they're hyping him up. He gets in front of the room, he takes a deep breath, he goes, I'm normal. Freaking out. But here's the question. Based on his lived experience, being a white male is the norm. So, we have to really look at how we're displaying these things, all right? So, like, with you, you automatically knew that yours was black woman because when I came over, I dapped you up, all right? We're talking about cultural competencies here, all right? Cultural competencies are really important. I can tell you about diversity all day. There's lived experiences as a black male that I just know because I'm black. That's just what it is. For example, in this country, you sing happy birthday like, sing it for me. But if you black, you sing happy birthday like, everybody's like, wait a minute. There's a black happy birthday song? I never heard of this before. Justin must have came into the session before everybody got here. They must have rehearsed. Black happy birthday song. I'm telling you, there's just some cultural competencies. There's, you know, we played a game earlier today that I said destroys families and friends and communities. There's another game that really destroys families and communities, especially in my household. All right? The game's called Uno. All right? That game is really about blood and depends on who you play with. So I told you about my Asian friend Derek. All right? He doesn't believe in the game Stacksies. Anybody ever play Stacksies with Uno? You could put a draw 4 on top of a draw 2, right?
Yeah.
Some people are like, she's like, no, you can't.
That's the online version.
See, all right? Derek's like, I don't see this in the instructions. I'm like, Derek, you don't read anything. Like, this is the first time you're reading something, all right? And it's about Uno. All right? Let's do another experiment. Can I have you two come up? Yes, come on up. Come on up. Can I use you? Yeah. Okay, come on up. And I'm going to use you. Come on. Give it a round of applause, all right? Culturally, there's just some things that connect us that some people get, some people don't. All right, you two are going to be partners in this. All right? Very simple experiment. I want you to play a hand game for me. Go. I haven't played a hand game. All I said was play a hand game. Immediately knew what to do. What are we doing? Have a seat. Thank you. Give me a round of applause. All right? There are just some things that are culturally acceptable and things that you just gravitate and know. Code switching is very important for people of color, because sometimes you just have to do it. When I'm with my students, I'm like, hey, what's going on? I might see, you know, someone that I work with. I'm like, hi, how are you? You know, I see some of my friends, I'm like, yo, what's up, man? See the university president. Hey, how you doing? All right. Gotta code switch in order to survive. Listen, in my community as a black male, the word you good means a multitude of different things. For example, pretend we know each other. I'm like, hey, say what's up. Say what's up. Hey, you good? All right. Tell me something sad. Good? Pretend I did something nice for you. Just tell me thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You good? All right. Step on my shoes. Hey, you good? All right. Multitude of different things. And I'm saying to you that if you do not create relationships with people, you will miss cultural competencies. And I'm just talking about me. Imagine all of your colleagues and you have cultural competencies. How vulnerable are you to share yourself with others? Just basic things. Very small things you wouldn't even think of. Like, for example, me and my colleague walking down the street the other day, about to have some lunch. See a black guy walk past me. I was like, hey, how you doing, man? He's like, good. And we keep walking. My white colleague goes, so who was that? It's a black dude. He's like, but you said hi to him. I'm like, yeah, black folk do. We see each other, we just say hey. He's like, no, you don't. I'm like, yes, it's a real thing. He's like, I'm not in the mood for one of your diversity games today, Justin. I'm like, it's not a diversity game. It's a real thing. He's like, well, I'm white and I don't say hello to every single white person I see. I was like, you know how many white people in this country be walking down the street like, hey! There's a black guy over there. Why don't you say hi to him? I'm like, it doesn't work like that. All right. There are levels to this. All right. Now, chances are, okay, we're about to to do something real quick. All right, have we ever met before this? Never seen me before this? Great. All right. If I saw you on the street and wanted to acknowledge your presence, but wasn't in proximity to D.A.P, but we made eye contact, what would we do? All right. He knew it. John's like, I know. I got this. All right. I have a black neighbor. I have this. All right. And now, all right, cultural competency. So what I'm going to ask you today is to think about where you are in your cultural competence, or even your cultural consciousness. Do you know about other people's cultures? How often do you share or engage with other people who look different than you? Because until we pick those things out, we don't have the engaging property. Now, I didn't do it here because obviously y'all know each other. But when I go to places, it's always the first activity I do. But I would ask if people know each other. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll get a group of people who don't know each other, like in session. And what I do is I make everybody go outside, and I'll bring everybody in, and I'll separate everybody by race and gender. So I'll put all the white females up front, all the white males in the back, all the black females in the back, all the black males over here. I occasionally have some people who are Asian background or Latinx, and I just stick them in the middle. And I say, okay, you can only talk to the people who look like you, all right? And I just leave them like that for like 10 minutes. How many of you think that would be very awkward? Raise your hand, all right? And I ask them, I'm like, what happened? They're like, this is racist. This is prejudice. How we come into a diversity program and it's set up like this? This doesn't make sense. And I'm like, well, how did I set up the room? And it's always my black females who immediately know what's going on. They're like, why are black females all in one spot? My white males have no idea what's happening. They're just like, hey, what's going on, guys? Like, they have no clue what's happening. All right? And I say, well, I set up the room. It was set up by race and gender. It was split up that way. And they're like, oh, I don't like that. That doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel good. How many of you would think that would be really uncomfortable? All right? So I'm like, okay. Why is it uncomfortable? They're like, because we should be together. We shouldn't be separated like this. And I was like, oh. If it shouldn't be like this in this room, how come it looks like this on campus? How come it looks like this in your classrooms? How come it looks like this in your dining hall or in your sports club? You were just talking about the yelling Aggies. Is that what they're called? The yell leaders. All right. I'm sorry. Maybe that'll be a new group we start. The yelling Aggies. All right. We're the people that didn't get picked. All right. And if it's not right here, it's not right everywhere. But some people just don't see it until it's blatantly in their face. So how do we expose those things that happen every day? We can talk about injustice every day. We see injustice every day. But what do we do about it? Because when we at least talk about the acronym LGBTQA, we talk about the A, and the A usually means advocate, or it can mean ally. All right? I hate the word ally. You can't be a diversity trainer and get rid of one of those acronyms. You can't do that. I hate the word ally. I can tell you why. I hate the word ally because ally gives you the ability to choose. All right? Well, I'm going to be an ally today. I'm going to give you some money today, but if I ever get put in a position where it's not going to benefit me, I'm not an ally. An ally, you can choose when you want to be a part of it. An ally, you can choose when you want to be a part of the community, when you want to donate money, donate your time, when you want to donate your knowledge and read up. You can stop being an ally at any time. I don't want to be an ally. We should change the word, keep the letter, and we should change the word to accomplice, all right? Because if you go down, I go down. If you're having a problem in the community, even though it doesn't directly affect me, it's a problem for me. And that's what our society does sometimes. Well, it's not an issue for me, so it's not my problem. Not my house, not my situation. And if it's a problem for somebody, it should be a problem for all of us. Who's got another card? Haha, right in front of you.
By the way,
did you look?
Yeah, I could see through.
Oh, you did? Okay. Gotta make this lamination more thicker. Go ahead.
By the way, when we were in Italy, we would play that game, but I haven't played it.
Oh, okay.
And I was
so look at that cultural assumption that I made.
I lost my Italian cultural competency. I'm very much assimilated to a lot of things here, which I realize are not very good.
Interesting. No, it's okay. But you look how, as a presenter, again, we're all at fault for this. I just assumed you didn't play hand games. Well, if I did. So what'd you have?
I had feminist.
How'd you know? How did they teach you in society?
Well, I was told not all men are bad. On the hand.
Oh, wow.
I was told that men on campus would avoid me.
Wow. All right. Interesting. So how'd you feel? Just everybody was just kind of like, ah! You felt like a leper, like no one wanted to be around you.
No, and I am a feminist who stays much milder than he was in the 70s.
Right? Because there's
I
different
think we're
eras.
yeah.
Right, different eras of the feminist movement. So sometimes when I ask people about feminism, I do feminism conversation, especially when I ask the ladies, I'm like, how many of you are feminists? I won't raise my hand, and I'm like, why not? They're like, Justin, I can't be a feminist. I'm like, well, why? They're like, cause bras are just too expensive. What? They're like, I'm not gonna go to Victoria's Secret and burn my bra. Do you know how much a bra at Victoria's Secret costs? I'm like, no, I don't. We're gonna talk about the different eras. You know, people in the 20s were probably burning their bras. They didn't have the right to vote. They didn't have the right to own land. They couldn't do anything without the say of their husband. Extreme times calls for extreme measures. Now, chances are, in 2015, you see somebody walking down the street burning their bra, they're probably violating some type of health code. All right? It's not gonna happen. But people have to rise up and do extreme things when it's an extreme time. Now, I'll ask you, just like I asked people that are in that training, how many of you are for the inclusiveness and equality of all people? Raise your hand. And congratulations. You would all be feminists. Give each other a round of applause. All right. Very nice. Haha, in the back. All right. What was on your card? Disabled. Okay. The word was handicap. We're going to talk about this word. So power and work. How do people treat you in society?
The person that was asking what was wrong with me.
Ooh.
And I actually do have a disability. So I do get that, but I also get kind of ignored or that like
How do you become Texas?
really I got it off the same class.
Alright, so then that's where you were. Sometimes when we do this activity, people get treated just a little bit better on campus. You know. But I think also the false stereotype is whenever someone gets that card, they immediately sit in a chair and they go like this. Yeah. Are all disabilities seen? No. Give me some invisible disabilities. Absolutely. PTSD. You can't tell just by looking at someone. Yes. Oh, you're scratching. Itching. All right. What else? Give me some invisible disabilities. Dyslexia, absolutely. Depression, yes. Anxiety, yes. What about seeing disability, hearing disability? You cannot tell. And again, we have to look at the language in which we're using. These aren't disabled people. They aren't handicapped people. They are people with a handicap or a person with a disability. You got to use person-first language. It's really important that we're not identifying someone based upon their disability. Again, you can't even tell, and you can't even know. I have a friend of mine. I think she feels like she's a queen when I tell this story. She thinks she's a queen in real life. No joke, she really thinks she's a queen. Her name is Mary, and she's from the D.A.P. Okay? Now, Mary is the most stuck-up person I've ever met in my entire life. Because Mary's deaf, and she's part of a community that I will never be a part of. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, deaf people just know stuff, and you just don't know. I can tell who's deaf in the audience just by looking. I'm like, you can't tell that. She's like, yes, I can. I'm part of the community. We know things. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, there's a specialized, so Mary and her cohort of individuals who happen to be deaf don't feel that being deaf is a disability. Rather, that is a gift. So I'm like, no, you're not. At the time, again, at this time of my understanding, when I met Mary, I'm like, that's not a gift. I wouldn't want to walk around and not hear anything. She's like, you might not hear anything, but you can hear things that other people can't because we have to learn other skills. I'm like, oh, so y'all are like the X-Men. Like, you have all these special gifts. She's like, no. She's like, I see things that you probably don't see because all you do is see with your eyes. And I was like, oh. She's like, and I can hear things that you can't hear because all you do is listen with your ears. You don't listen with your eyes. And she tried to really explain things to me, and I didn't see things. She is a reader of people. You want to have her come into this room and identify all of you and your personal lives without knowing you? She's like a psychic. All right? That's how she does things. She's gifted in that manner. But we have to really make sure that we pay attention to those things. All right? What else? Is that all the cards? I know we have a few left. How many do we have left? Just one? Just one card left? 2 cards left? Did you have a card? Yeah? Well, that's good. All right, what'd you have?
I'm a white woman.
You were a white woman. How'd you know?
Yes, you are.
Oh, someone said yes, you are. Man, that's really crazy that we did this like like the first two I looked at, but everybody else had them turn around. It was given by accident. It's like the fate wanted it to be like this. All right. So how did you know? People said yes, you are. How do people treat you in society?
The first two treated me in society, they didn't know what to say to me. It's really interesting.
What do you mean they didn't know what to say to you? They were just like, wow. How do people treat you on campus?
Very friendly.
Oh, they're very friendly.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, I would like to say that I try to stay in touch with my students and learn new languages, what's hip and trend. I don't even know who say those words anymore. All right. And at one point, I did this activity, and the students were like, the girl got the white girl card, and no one was yelling out white girl. Everybody was like, basic, 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 basic. And I was like, what? They're like, basic white girl. Don't you know what that is? And I was like, no. They're like, you know, she walks around with her Starbucks coffee, and she's always smiling. She's got a little dog in her purse. She's got her boots on. You know, basic. And I'm just sitting there like, how do you become advanced white girl? Like, would you fail? Are you intermediate white girl? Like, I was trying to figure it out. Then I asked all the women of color in the room, I'm like, is there such thing as a basic woman of color? And they were like, no. So, like, we're laughing because that's a colloquialism that we use in society to describe individuals. Well, they don't learn on me. Basic means you're doing everything that everyone else is doing. Okay? But what I actually, when I started to pull it apart, the question I wanted to ask is, where as a society do we get off by calling other people basic? Because I don't want you to look at me. Look at each other in the room. I don't see anybody basic here. So just don't look at me. Look at your colleagues. All right? Do you see anybody basic in this room? I see people with different hairstyles, different clothes on, heights, everything. Nobody. Oh, you can look at me now. All right. Nobody's basic in here. And yet, as a society, we have coined that term that we feel comfortable enough to call someone else basic. It's almost like it invalidates their experience. And to be invalidated means to take a piece of you from someone. Has anybody been invalidated before? How many of you have ever heard these things? This is a great idea that you have, but because of budget, anybody ever heard that? When someone disrespects you on the job, I don't think they really meant it like that. I think you're just being a little too sensitive. Have you heard that before? All right. Have you ever anybody ever had a supervisor? Obviously not in this room. You're just like, how did you get this job? Raise your hand. Yeah. All right. Because what we don't do is we don't tap into the inner strengths and inner skills of everybody that's in this room. Let's just take a quick poll. How many of you have an idea that you know could change the entire scope of how this campus is run? Someone just needs to give you a shot. Raise your hand.
The entire campus?
We got one. If you don't know what his idea is, what are we doing? Why do you come to work? We should all be trying to work smarter, not harder. And you don't have an idea right now because I put you on the spot, but some of you probably have been like, you can look at the structure or the way something's set up, and you can simplify it. If someone put you in charge to simplify campus, how many of you think that you could do it? Raise your hand. How many of you think there are areas of improvement on campus that you personally, if someone gave you the tools and the budget and the personnel, you could change it on campus right now? Raise your hand. Look at the skills that everybody has on campus. Yet, you don't listen to the other individuals that are around us. Why? We're supposed to be an institution of higher learning. Yet, higher learning is not taking place, not just from the students, but from the colleagues. We all have a ride, right? We all have degrees. We work at the library, one of the most biggest and prestigious institutions in the country. Yet, we still have the same issue as a small private in New Jersey. There's only one. Jersey's a small state. Interesting. All right. Maybe it's just about our perspective. Bam! Told you we were coming back. All right? Because we can see things, hear things, say things, and it might be different. How many of you have a Facebook? Raise your hand. Great. Go on Facebook right now. Find Diversity Awareness Program. All right. Because we are about to play an activity. I need you to find this picture right here. Kyle Field. Who's Kyle? Does anybody know? Okay. We're just going to go with it. All right. Find Diversity Awareness Program on Facebook because you're going to find that picture because I'm going to ask you a question and I'm going to need you to post your answer under that picture. I'm doing that because I need checks and balances, because some people try to change their answer, and this game is based on honesty. Let me know when you find it online, like the page, so you can comment on the picture, and we're going to go through this activity. Alright. Again, find this picture, because that's where you're going to comment under. Anybody having a hard time? Everybody good? Alright. Here's our scenario. Boom! I need you all to read this for me out loud. 3, 2, 1, go. One more time. Go! I'm all about helping people with their learning styles. So, I made you all repeat it because some people learn by repetition. How many of you agree that you're all seeing the same thing? Raise your hand. How many of you agree that you're all repeating the same thing? Raise your hand. How many of you agree that you're all hearing the same thing? Raise your hand. And my favorite, how many of you feel like you're all saying the same thing? Raise your hand. Great. Because I'm going to ask you a simple question. Again, you're going to post it on that picture. And if you are all seeing, saying, repeating, and hearing the same thing, your answers must all be the same. Don't look at anybody's answers when you're entering your answer. The game based on honesty. Do not share your answer with anybody. The question is simple. How many F's do you see in this sentence? How many F's do you see in this sentence? Shh, don't keep it to yourself. How many F's do you see in this sentence? All right. Post your answers now, people. Final Jeopardy. Post your answers now. Again, there's no wrong answer. I'm not going to pull your answer up on the board. All right? No wrong answer. It's just a tiny, tiny experiment. All right. We got Olga in here. We got Shelby, Kelsey, Andrea, Amanda. They're coming in. They're coming in. Keep them coming. A couple more seconds. How many F's did you see? How many F's did you see, people? We got Madeline in here. Very nice. All right. Now is where the fun begins. All right? So, if you only saw one F, please stand. Okay, great. Everybody has that count to one. Perfect. If you saw two F's, please stand. There's no wrong answer. It's okay. All right. That's where things are going to get interesting. 3 F's. Please stand. I know I got some 3 F's in here. There's nothing wrong. No wrong answer. 3 F's. Thank you for standing. Have a seat. 4 F's. Please stand. 3, 4, 4. 5 F's. Please stand. 5. Yeah. All right. 6 F's. Please stand. 7 F's. Please stand. Anything higher than 7? I was going to say, okay, we'll talk after the program. And I had hand raised, yes.
No, I just want she's standing.
Oh,
She was standing there.
So you were standing for.
She was standing. 6.
For 6. All right. What happened? It was very simple. You all saw the same setting. You all had the same answer. You should have all the same answer, right? You were all here in this moment. Talk to me. What happened? Oh, it was capitals and lower cases? Yeah, that's the one that really threw you off. What happened, people? Here's the thing. You all are very smart. That's what we just already identified. We can't count the amount of F's that are in a sentence. How did our country ever get to a conclusion about immigration or gun laws or whether certain people should have rights based upon who they love? If we all can't even come to a conclusion about how many F's are in a sentence. And that's why diversity is so important. Having conversations about race and racism, cultural awareness, multicultural competence, it's all important because everybody needs to have a voice around the table. Because if I was around the table and you said you saw 3 F's, you saw 3, right? I'd be like, dude, I saw 5 F's. Like, what's that about? And we'd both be wrong because the answer was 6. Give it up for the 6 F's. All right? Some of you are like, wait a minute, Justin. I need you to show me this. All right? Let's go through it together. Ready? Finished. Files are the results of years of scientific study combined with the experience of years. Scientific explanation, diversity explanation. Scientifically, all right, the majority of you probably miss the F's in of because you think with the majority of your left hemisphere, your brain skips the of. How many of you recounted and still didn't count 6 F's? All right, yeah, some. All right. Chances are, if you think with the right hemisphere, all right, you're more creative. That's what they say. That's why the majority of you got at least 3 or up. All right, yay for the library. All right. Just you got us. All right. What could be more? Let's try something else. All right. Let's try this. What color's this dress? What color's the dress? All right. I need someone from the blue and black club. Doesn't matter who it is. Need one person from the blue and black club. Come on up. Yeah, come on up. Yeah, you're right, boy. Yeah. Come on down. Yeah, I need someone from the white and gold club. Doesn't matter who it is. Everybody see white and gold? All right, give it up for him. Oh, yeah. Here's Bill. Is his name Bill? Yes, I was right. All right. Give it up for these two. All right. Today, once and for all, at Texas A&M, I want to put the age-old question to bed. Is this a blue and black dress, or is this a white and gold dress? I'm going to give you 1 minute to argue this out and argue your point. Do not let him tell you that this is a white and gold dress. It's not. All right? It's white and gold. I got you. All right? All right. I need you all to watch what ensues. Do not fault on your point. Get the other person to believe what you believe. 1 minute. Go.
I think that's kind of hard because I don't believe in trying sports.
You're going to be that person?
Yes, I am.
Oh, gosh.
I think blue and black. Or it's kind of almost like a purplish.
No, it's white and gold. I mean, you're obviously seeing something wrong. It's your glasses. You need to get your perspective straight.
Wow. Personal shade.
You see the background? That's white, and the dress, it just matches. That's white. And that's gold. It's it's just, because that's painted or something. This is it's got like a satin white look to it or something.
I don't know how to convince. I don't want to convince.
I don't want to, but.
But I have to do this. But what do you see as you transition from here to there? Does it just blend?
No, it's that white cloudy sky.
You
So
don't
it
see that
matches.
curve right there, the line of the bluish purplish? I don't know why.
All right, count down with me.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. So, what consecutive answer did you two come up with?
We see different things.
Congratulations, everybody. I just replicated your American voting system. You hired 2 people who did absolutely nothing for you. Give them a round of applause. All right. People will argue. Y'all were very tame. Some people are like, wow. All right, like the cats versus dogs. Like that's like the most like maybe today's was church or no church, but like I did this activity before this or that, and man, cats and dogs they went at it. But y'all were very tame. Sometimes we get people that get really, really upset. I mean, sometimes I have conversations with people that sound like this. There was one time after my program was done, someone came up to me after the program and said, Justin, this was such a great program. I had such a good time. And I'm like, thanks. They're like, yeah, but I have a question. I'm like, what? They're like, during your dress activity, I didn't see black or blue or white and gold. I'm like, what did you see? They're like, I saw brown and purple. Okay. The individual's colorblind. Diversity has to go beyond what we see, no pun intended. But how they see the world is definitely different than how we saw the world. So far we have 2 seeing it, and all of y'all are wrong. Alright? So, let's try another activity. Perception is important. I'm going to play you a little clip. And I want you to tell me what you hear. You're either going to hear the word brainstorm, or you're going to hear the word green needle. All right? Let's take a listen. Alrighty, how many of you heard brainstorm? Raise your hand. How many of you heard green needle? Raise your hand. Who's right? He's like, I am. Alright. Now, in society, I would like to make a point that people just hear what they want to hear. How many of you agree with that? Alright? People just hear what they want to hear. Doesn't matter if there's facts. Doesn't matter if it's backed up by data. Doesn't matter if you have a case study. Doesn't matter if you have anything. You're like, I believe what I want to believe. So, let's try out that theory. What I want you to do now, if you heard brainstorm, force your brain to hear the word green needle. Just force yourself, all right? If you heard green needle, force yourself to hear brainstorm, all right? Let's try it again. How many of you heard the opposite? Raise your hand. Oh, so what you're saying is that your beliefs can be changed just by making a little bit of effort. Oh, that's interesting. Because people believe what they want to believe. Now, no, I said people hear what they want to hear. But I also believe people believe what they want to believe. So I'm going to give you a statement now that I want you to hear. I don't want you to hear brainstorm or green needle. I want you to hear the word brain needle. Oh, something that would hurt. All right? Brain needle or green storm. All right? Force yourself to hear that. Because people hear what they want to hear, but people also believe what they want to believe. Brain needle, green storm. What does that tell you? Yeah, it's crazy. Who would come up with these activities? It's crazy. What does this tell you?
That you put something in the food.
Right, I must have. I must have. All right. In society, we were talking about this earlier too. We got to give people the benefit of the doubt. If you don't live that lived experience, you probably don't know what those experiences are. So when someone is telling you that, you can't invalidate their experiences. It takes away pieces of them. It can also be viewed as a microaggression. Who knows what a microaggression is? Someone give me a definition. There's no wrong definition. Oh, not all at once. All right, what'd you say?
A more subtle aggression, like sounds polite, but it's not.
Right. It's as if I gave you a compliment and then just immediately slapped you right in the face. All right? Has anybody ever been a victim of a microaggression? Give me an example.
This was the personal experience I had when I dated my first boyfriend. I felt really out of place because he was white and I'm Hispanic. And when I was there, I was standing there, and I felt like I saw their eyes and saw the way they looked at me. It was an older family, and I tried to ignore it. I was like, okay, maybe this isn't what I thought it was. And I went and told a friend about it, and I was like, I don't know, I felt kind of uncomfortable and like I wasn't wanted there.
Yeah.
And she immediately was like, oh, that might not be the case though. Maybe it was just this and this, and I'm like,
You felt what you felt.
yeah.
And you're allowed to feel what you feel. Surprise. You're allowed to feel what you feel. Absolutely. Thank you for being vulnerable and share that. Who else been a victim of a microaggression? Well, we don't know exactly what one is. I'm going to show you a video. See if you can relate with any of these.
For people who still don't think that microaggressions are a problem,
Oh, you're so well spoken.
just imagine, instead of being a stupid comment, a microaggression is a mosquito bite.
Ugh, it's a compliment.
Mosquito bites and their itch are one of nature's most annoying features. But if you're only bitten every once in a while...
No, where are you really from?
Cleveland?
Sure, it's annoying, but it's not that big a deal. The problem is that some people get bitten by mosquitoes a lot more than other people. I mean, a lot more. Whether it's on a date...
Oh, your English is so good.
Excuse me?
Going grocery shopping.
You know, everything happens for a reason.
I'm just buying apples.
Commuting to work.
So when are you gonna have a baby?
Watching TV.
We have to keep the Redskins' name. It's part of our culture and history.
Or just walking down the street with your partner.
I couldn't even tell you were gay.
Mosquitoes seem to pop up everywhere.
Do you know John? Give me shopping advice. I love Cher too.
And getting bit by mosquitoes every goddamn day.
Can I touch your hair?
multiple times a day
So pretty. Can
Can I touch it, please? Can I please?
is fucking annoying and makes you want to go ballistic on those mosquitoes, which seems like a huge overreaction to people who only get bit every once in a while.
It's just a mosquito bite. Who cares? Just another angry black woman.
Of course, beyond just being annoying, some mosquitoes carry truly threatening diseases that can mess up your life for years.
Astrophysics? Maybe you should try less challenging, Major.
Ow, my dreams.
And other mosquitoes carry strains that can even kill you.
He looked like he was up to trouble, okay? I felt threatened.
So next time you think someone's overreacting, just remember, some people experience mosquito bites all the time.
You're all so exotic. Wow.
And by mosquito bites, we mean microaggressions.
All right. So more information on microaggressions. Who can identify? Give me some. Anybody ever been a victim of a microaggression? Yes. Like what? Give me an example.
My favorite is, do you have diabetes? Because that's the assumption that a lot of people get that I have diabetes is my job. Or
I don't see how the two are connected, but okay.
Well, my sister has a diabetes mellitus. So you visually can't tell a person has diabetes, and so they just jump to the assumption if they don't see.
How does the dog assist? I've never heard this.
They're diabetic mellitus. Yeah, if he's trained with sense out, they can smell the difference in like the saliva smell and high blood sugar and.
Did everybody know this?
And
Never heard.
and he's just.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, they're still just learning. She's only had him 4 months, but but she's got the kind of diabetes where she can go so low, she can pass out really quickly and die. So he's helping with that.
I never knew
Yeah,
that.
but
Very cool.
just I think that it's because it's my weight. Oh, you
I
think so?
have a friend who does have diabetic mellitus, and she gets asked, do you have seizures?
Do you think we judge people based on their weight?
Oh yeah.
There's a study that came out 2 years ago that people weren't even getting jobs because of their weight. Because there were companies that were concerned with health insurance. Or that because someone might be a little bit bigger, oh, I guess they don't exercise. I guess that some people just have conditions you don't know. Can you tell by just looking? Mine is, it actually happened my first time I came to Texas A&M. Now, where did I have my presentation? I had it in the equestrian center.
Yes.
This was about maybe 4 years ago. So we had 2 days of training. It was 2 full days. So aren't y'all lucky? That's like 3 hours. This is a full day of just it. We did it on Tuesday and Wednesday, but there were like 300 people in each training 4 years ago. And someone at the end of my program came up to me and said, wow, you speak really well for a colored person. He did. And I said, all right, because what we have to understand is that some people of color have a lot of emotional drain having to explain things to each other. It seems like sometimes we carry the boatload of figuring things out. And I'll explain a story with that as well. And I sometimes have to be the representative of everyone that looks like me. So today, being the black delegate, I spoke up and I said, hey, thank you for that compliment, but I wanted to let you know that people don't use that term. Not for Philadelphia. If you said that in Philadelphia, it wouldn't work out at all. What do you mean? I was like, well, you can say person of color, you can say black, you can say African American, but saying colored person, probably not so much. Like, I didn't know that. She started asking more questions. Like, so I probably shouldn't call Asian people Oriental. No, you shouldn't. What area are you from? Because I wanted to know. He was an older gentleman, and based on his experiences, he's going on old vernacular. All right. If you use the word Latino and Latina, it's inappropriate right now in 2019 because that assumes a gender and it assumes a power dynamic. So you probably heard the term I said earlier, Latinx. That is the term we use right now. Currently at Westchester University, and Gary, you can look it up in our news, we have changed our LGBTQA Center to the Trans and Queer Advocacy Center. We are the only institution in the country that has one. And our campus is in a divide right now. Some people are like, we can't use queer. That's a horrible word. Some people are like, hey, you reclaim the word. It's good. You can use it. It's no longer used that way. But again, you got to take it for what it's worth. Some people lived in an area where the word queer was used as a term of fear, as a term of bullying, and in some cases as a term of assault and murder. So they're coming from a completely different era of understanding, which is why it's always important that we update our information and that we're no longer just allies. We have to be accomplices. We got to go all in. You're either all in or you're not. So sometimes when we're using our privilege, we're not doing privilege. That's why I brought the trash can here. Some people are like, what's he doing? All right. We have to look at the intent versus the impact. Because sometimes your intentions might be good, but you left a really bad impact. Therefore, you shouldn't have done it. Sometimes that happens to me as a black male working in student affairs. So I have a colleague who will occasionally call me, and my conversation sounds like this. Tell me what you hear in this conversation. Hello? Hi, Justin. How you doing? I'm doing good. How are you? Great. Hey, say, listen. I got this student. This student would be wonderful. I'm going to send this student over to you. You'll be a great mentor for the student. This student can really flourish under your leadership. Can I send this student to you? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. She's like, good. Okay, I'll send him over to you. I'm like, okay, great, bye. Click. What'd you hear in this conversation?
The student is black.
You didn't hear that! Who heard that the student was black? Who did not hear that the student was black? So what did you hear? Huh? Right. And I was a great leader. What did you hear?
It implied that there's a minority of content.
What was the implication of minority status?
What's the guess?
It was a right guess, because lo and behold, the student came in and the student happened to be black. This was happening to me like maybe once every other week. All right? The intent might have been good. Hey, let me send the black student over to the black guy because maybe he can help them. But the impact, not so much. We have to be able to have enough of a relationship to have these conversations. Eventually, I ended up calling my colleague. I was like, hey, why do you keep sending me all this student color? I just thought that you would do well with these students. Can they not flourish under you? Like, I have other things I need to do. Like, if I could outsource all my white students, I would literally have no work. All right? But we have to look at the intention of what was taking place here. Because there's an ugliness in education that we don't like to talk about. But we can talk about that when it comes to having relationships. And in some of these cases, some of the black students really did need to talk to a black professional. And that was appropriate. All right? Again, my campus is 30 minutes outside of Philadelphia. Philadelphia has something called the Philadelphia Police Department. They do not have a good relationship with people in Philadelphia. They just don't. Whether you're white or black. Some of our students have had really bad experiences. When they're coming on campus, our students of color, they immediately gravitate to someone who looks like that. Not because they don't trust someone who doesn't look like that. You have to look at their lived experiences. So it makes sense. Those are some of the ugliness things that we don't talk about in higher education. Should you send a student to me because I'm black and they're black? No. But can it be helpful in some situations? And you probably should. Yes. In some of these situations, the students didn't need to talk to me. They're failing class. Talking to me isn't helping me. Go talk to your advisor.
Yeah.
All right? Hey, I want to be a part of a sports club. I don't have anything to do with sports. Go talk to the athletic director. All right? So it's helpful. But we got to be able to talk about this. Get your hand raised.
Well, because you kind of led into that, because there are times when in talking with students and giving referrals, the student has, in this environment, sometimes part of the issues may be not feeling welcome or not fitting in with this environment. So if I'm referring a student to someone and they are wanting to meet with someone that they can identify, say, in a counseling service. And so trying to negotiate that if the student themselves wants to interact with someone who they can feel comfortable with and identify with, they can say, hey, the issue is, as a black person, I don't feel welcome in this. So, I mean, there's that difficulty. I do understand that it's not always appropriate.
Right.
But sometimes it's might be for the student.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And those things have to come from conversation. Sometimes I don't have to know that a student is coming to talk to me because I'm black. I just, it's a cultural thing. Sometimes some students of color just naturally gravitate towards me. I get it. But if you're a white professional, right, and you're in this setting, and you are seeing that this is not happening to you, you have to ask yourself, am I not approachable? Is this someone else's lived experiences, or is it me? Because it might not be, depending on what it is. Some of our students, her name is Mrs. K. Black students love Miss K. She's white, and they love Miss K. Because they're like, oh, Miss K down, she gets it, all right? I'm like, what do you mean she gets it? Well, she understands what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with color. Immediately, we always put the emphasis on what someone looks like. When sometimes these students just want to know that you care, that they have a resource, and that you're available should they need you. And that's all she does. Mrs. K works in student activities, but all the students of color will talk to her. Because everybody who, okay, so if you're a person of color in this room, every single person of color you've met in your life has been for you? No. Every person who was white was against you? No. If you're white or any other race or background, every person who was black in your life has been against you? Right. But yeah, when we talk about race relations in this country, we're the only two races that ever seem like they have a beef. Black or white folks. It's as if we don't service anybody else in this country when there are other races in this country, just like there are other religions as well. It has to do with privilege. I need a few people for an activity. You won't have to do anything crazy, I promise. Nothing crazy is going to happen. I just need you to kind of pull your chair up here. Or take a chair that's up here. I need 10 volunteers. Okay, I'm just going to call you. I'll take you to pull a chair up to the trash can. Then I'm taking you, I'm taking you. I'm taking you, and take you, take you, take you. I'll take you. I'll take you too. Oh, you're here, right? You want to go? Want to be part? You sure? Come on, all right. Give them a round of applause. Nice job. All right, take your chair this way. You're going to line up bus style. So, Bill, you bring your chair up here. Yep, 2 rows. Yep, you're going to sit in your chair. All right. Have a little space between you. I have an interesting question that sometimes I play with my students. It has nothing to do with you. You said you were a bus driver, so I'm going to play this with you. It'll be fun for you. So, this isn't the game. I'm just doing this while we're all setting up. You're a bus driver, all right? On Mondays, you pick up 6 kids. Tuesday, you pick up 7 kids. Thursday, you pick up 8 kids. What color are the bus driver's eyes?
What color are the... What section?
You're a bus driver, all right? On Monday, you pick up 8 kids. Tuesday, you pick up 6 kids. Wednesday, you pick up 7 kids. On Friday, you have the day off. What color are the bus driver's eyes?
I don't think that's their
Green, the green?
Green, blue, something like that.
They are.
Hazel.
He said brown. Everybody just makes it up. They're not paying attention. You're the bus driver, Bill. All right. Who got it immediately? All right. Got it. All right. All right. Give our wonderful volunteers a round of applause. All right. Welcome to my crazy game of privilege. All right. Essentially what's going to happen is you are all going to get the day off because this is a professional development day, right? It's President's Day. That's why you're doing training today. Is that why?
No, we don't get any. We don't get any. We're in Texas.
There's a lot of people that have off today. My wife's in education. She's not working today.
Yeah, I think
we don't even get Labor Day.
Yeah, we don't get Labor Day here either.
We get to labor on Labor Day.
We get days off. We're lucky to have something to labor on.
That's weird.
Labor accelerated.
Oh, well, I mean, okay. Well, I had a day off, so I'm spending it with Joe. All right. Okay, so I can't promise that. I was like, why are you here? All right. Let's pretend I can. Well, let's not pretend. I'm giving you the rest of the day off. All right. Whoever it is, just tell them they can blame it on me. All right. If you can complete my task, what I need you to do is I need you to take your piece of paper, crumple it up, and at the time when I give it to you, you're going to shoot it into the basket. If you make it into the basket, you get the rest of your day off. However, if you miss it, you will actually have an extra day that you have to work here at the university without pay. All right? Sounds like a fair activity, right?
Hey, Kelsey.
Who you gonna ask Kelsey?
Works for me.
Who you gonna ask her?
She's doing it for me.
Oh. It always seems like someone in the back always trying to break the rules, right? And bend the rules. Interesting. This is fair, right? Who's saying it? Oh, she. Right on. All right. She thinks it's fair. Nothing's wrong with it. Who said no? Gosh, people always in the middle class and in the low class always complaining. Tell me why you don't think this is fair.
Because it's further back there and here than it is at the front.
And there's also obstacles in between.
Oh, let's talk about fairness here for a second. All right. How many of you, by a show of hands, have a ball? Raise your hand. How many of you have a seat? Raise your hand. How many of you? Oh, you don't have a ball. Oh, okay. All right. How many of you have the ability to throw a ball into the basket? Then why don't? Well, there's obstacles, but why don't you just work harder to get to where you need to be? What do you think? You had your hand raised in the back. What's the problem? This is all equal here.
If you let me get up and walk.
Oh. Okay. People in the back always trying to change the rules to make it better for themselves. I don't hear anybody in the front complaining. What do you think, Bill? I don't see it. So, are we ready to begin? Let's try this. People in the first row, shoot your shot. 3, 2, 1. Give it up for the first row. I always knew you could do it. This is the way it was set up. I wasn't worried about them because I already knew they'd be successful even if they were far apart. It's like it was set up for them to already be successful before the game even started. Second row, take a shot. Whoa, hold on for a second. Why are you sliding to the side?
I don't know who's behind me.
Oh.
I've driven this bus before.
Or it could be a personification of you're using your privilege to move over to the side to maybe make it easier for someone. You didn't move.
She made her shot.
Right. She made her shot. And that was all that mattered to her, right? Look behind you. Does it really matter to you?
I mean,
Think wisely. You work with these people once I leave.
she's about to leave us, so.
Oh, okay. All right. We're diving into some politics I wasn't ready for. All right. Second group. Take a shot. 3, 2, 1. Wow. Sorry. You'll be working that extra day. Good luck. No pay. Third row. Take your shot. 3. What?
You didn't say we can stop.
I didn't say you could. Yes, she does have a point. Okay. And you're just going to follow her because that's what she's doing, right?
Yeah, we should. It's more equal that way.
It's crazy that when things are unfair, sometimes people have to stand up for what's right. Or have to stand for something, because if you don't stand for something, you will make a shot. 3, 2, 1. Wasn't that excited for you, huh? Nice. Fourth row, make a shot. 3, 2, 1. Oh, who bounced off the rim? Was that you? Oh, you were close, Steph Curry. You were real close. Man. And our last
really
group.
amazing for me.
Huh?
That's really amazing.
Listen, I thought I was about to go in. I was like, man. You know what's crazy about this? The last row didn't even say anything. They didn't say anything. They didn't complain, didn't do anything. Why do you think that is? Maybe they're concentrating. Maybe they know this is just their one shot to get out of their situation. Because how many people chose to sit where they wanted to sit? Or did they just by osmosis sat where they sat? Did anybody choose where they were going to sit? Or are they all just products of where they sat? No one chooses to be where they are. No one chooses to grow up in a low economic situation. No one chooses not to have privilege. No one chooses to be on the bottom of the totem pole. Yet, some people in this country are. You didn't know by putting your chair back there. This was you were choosing. It was just the hand that you were dealt. How come y'all haven't said anything? People in the middle kind of advocated for themselves. How come the people in the back didn't say anything? Yeah. Yeah. How come you didn't say anything? You think you're just doomed from the start?
I just, to be honest, it would depend if this were real. If this happened, and you really had the authority, I would just say this is I have enough privilege so that when something like this happens where I have less privilege, I just accept that that's the way it's handled sometimes. I know that I always have privilege wherever I go.
Interesting. So you're looking at your own privilege, because in the workplace, we have a lot of different privileges. For example, if I'm a male, and I am, all right, and I disagree with my supervisor, what do people say about me? Right, it's being a leader. If you're a woman and you disagree with your supervisor, what do they say? If I come to work and I'm kind of dressed like a bum, what do people say about me as a male? Must not have slept well last night. Or maybe I assume, people assume, that maybe I slept here overnight because I was working so hard, right? You come to work and you don't even have a little bit of makeup on. What does someone say to you, ladies? You look different. Are you? Oh. There you go. Are you okay? Something seems off. Ladies in the room, how many times have you heard this in a lifetime? You'd be so much prettier if you just smiled. You know how weird that was? Oh, your eyes. Way there. She was rolling her eyes. They were way back here. You know how weird that would sound? Another guy came up and said to you, hey, you're so much prettier if you smiled. So awkward, right? Jeez. All right. Double standards, man. Last group. 3, 2, 1. Oh! I thought she was bouncing it off the backboard. I was like, oh snap, she was ready for this.
Like privilege again.
Right. What is this game called? So it's called Life. Okay. What else do you think this game could be called? It could be called Life. If it was a game of privilege, it's not called privilege. We think the activity is called. Economics, it could be. It's not, but it could be.
Power structure.
Power structure, could be. The game is called The System. Is the system set up for everyone to be successful? Who in this activity was successful? The front. Well, yeah, he was. In that situation, because, you know, the situation rarely happens, the system would probably give them self-praise and say, well, someone had to make it out. But a lot of people don't have a situation like Patrick. Is it Patrick? Yeah. A lot of people don't have a situation like Patrick. A lot of people have situations where they take their shot and they miss. Was this game equal? Because there's a difference between equality and equity. All right? Was this game equal?
Sure. Yeah, they all the ball, they all the share.
The game was definitely
Same
equal.
target, yeah.
Was the game equitable? What would have made the game equitable? You all sat in a circle, or you all had the same distance to the trash can. Because right now, let's say I had a pair of MJs, I had a pair of Jordans in my car right now for everyone. Would everybody be excited? Brand new shoes. They're all size 17. Who would be upset? Oh, she said so. She's going to make a way. Right. Stuff them. All right. She said sell them on eBay. See, y'all, this is my gift. All right. That might be equal, but it's not equitable. What would be equitable is if I had a pair of Jordans for everybody in my car, and they were everyone's size. We got to make sure that our intent matches the impact. Our intentions always don't. Give it up for the volunteers. Nice job, everybody. Yep, you can move back to your seats. Man, this 3 hours went quick. I only have 40 minutes left. I had so much stuff I wanted to do. Oh, man. Okay. Well, we'll just keep wheeling and dealing. We were talking about the differences in gender. I think talking about that is really, really important, especially when it comes to things that are double standards. Double standards definitely play a part in our society. Double standards play a part in our workplace. I just don't think we take enough time to really have those conversations. So let's dive into it. Ladies, for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to give you the ability to have a conversation about anything you want, except I'm going to give you a subject. The subject is men. You can say whatever you'd like in these 5 minutes. Gentlemen, you may not speak. You must sit and listen to what is being said. But don't worry, you will have your shot, because when they are done, it'll be your turn. But, ladies, the conversation is men. Say whatever you want. 5 minutes on the clock. Go.
We're conversating. So I had to go buy pants this weekend, and none of them had pockets, but all of them had pockets. And I was outraged. I went to 5 different stores to try to find a pair of slacks with pockets.
It's a conspiracy.
And I did not. I gave up and went home. And I complained to my husband. And told him it was his fault.
Right? Yeah. How about the prices? The prices on the men's pants are cheaper than the women's. And
and they're usually bigger.
And the quality is not quality.
Yeah.
Their sizes are You don't have to like size ours are 6, 8, 10 there. You can get like different waist sizes.
Pants are never long enough.
Or
See, where my pants are always too long. Yeah.
Or short, yeah.
Trauma of buying a bra. Oh my gosh, I found my bra. I didn't get any bras, and I have to find out what my size is, because the size is worn off of the label. I lost weight, or I put on weight, so now I have to go find a new bra. I go and get measured. No, I don't want some strange woman touching my bird. I'll just try on 500 bras. And they get the wrong size.
Yeah.
And how do they have to, do they have to like get the size of a jockstrap or something? They don't know they're born. Like, we have to shave, we have to like these other, we have to have periods. What do they do?
Get real.
On another note, I feel that A&M is still kind of male dominated.
It is.
Yeah. In terms of the structure. Oh, we're covered all the important stuff.
Oh, the administrator wrote a paper on that one.
We find like here you really have to conform to a certain way of being, or you can only be yourself. All of you are single.
Challenge ourselves though as women as to how we treat women who are individuals, how supportive we are of them. I feel like we're really critical because it's this weird balance between you have to take on masculine qualities to be a leader, but you can't be too masculine. You are. And like part of that is you're rich. Like there's no getting around it. And I think we do that to each other. Like we talk about it in that way.
You think we hold other women to a higher standard than we hold men? I mean, I think we do the, oh, man, I mean, we just.
Already done with that conversation.
But I mean, but with women, we're like, oh, well, she should know better. She knows all the time. Whereas with men,
There's that automatic expectation of like,
yeah, I think that's a lot of it.
Yeah, they get money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get past this. No, we don't. Anything. My sister and I were traveling, and we saw this young man at standing in line at McDonald's, and he had like leggings on, but he had those basketball shorts that were like down to here, and the shirt didn't match, nothing matched, and it's like, look at you, it's like, if a woman was wearing an outfit like that, we would just be like, oh, all over it, but guys just are right.
1 minute left, ladies. 1 minute left.
He never matches.
I know. But we don't care. But do we care, Fernando? I don't think we care.
No, they go. I know that.
Go ahead.
My husband will go until I have space on his shirt. And I'm like,
and I'm like, I'm not throwing all this
Yes.
stuff away.
I will take care of you.
But also, why do I have to be his mom? His wife.
Okay.
And you're out of time. Give it up for the ladies. All right. Now, I always ask the gentleman first. This is your option. I'm a facilitator, but I'm also a male. All right. I can be included in your conversation, or I can stay in the facilitation role. I allow you to choose.
Join us. We're outnumbered.
All right. All right. I will join. All righty, gentlemen. Same thing. 5 minutes. Your conversation is about women. You say whatever you want. Ladies, you are to listen. You are not to comment. 3, 2, 1, go.
Women are awesome.
I like the way this is going.
A few weeks ago, my wife had the flu, and of course, it's like, we want her to get better and also not to get anyone else in our household sick. And so it's like, okay, we'll do everything. My son and I will do everything, take care of the house, and nothing makes you appreciate more everything that she does, and keeping us from just basically keep us from walking out of the house with like holes in our shirts and stains on them,
Right. Yeah. My wife's funny. Occasionally I'll wake up in the middle of the night, roll over, she's keep glaring at me. I'm like, hey baby. She's like, oh hey baby, baby. What happened? You cheated on me. I did? Yes. In my dream. I'm sorry. Equal your settlement. Cool.
And I guess I'm surprised that women are the buyer of the clothes, and we compare each other with what they're wearing, stuff like that. And so if there are no pockets in women's jeans, why is that not an economic opportunity for somebody to crank up a company? Provide this product that folks see.
Or that to even be the slogan. Like I feel like every time I see a Gap commercial, someone's jumping in the commercial. Do you ever see it like, or something like that? But they should have commercial. We're selling jeans, ladies, and there's pockets. That just be it. The end. But, I'm gonna hit up Gap and let them know that.
I appreciate it.
Good answer, Bill. Good answer, Bill. Yeah.
In the current, I don't know the hashtag, but I'm hesitant to tell someone that, hey, you look nice today. That would be a thing.
Me
Years
too.
ago, I would have told someone. These days, no, I won't. I'm not going to say anything like that. At least not in the work environment. I'm not going to tell anybody. And it's just, it's because times are fraught with peril.
Right. Hey. Do you have anything y'all want to say in the back?
I would just say that, like, to me, this is like indicative of I know for me, I work with women all the time, and you do, like Bill says, you have to be careful of what you say and how you interact with people based on them.
Yeah. Just interact with them.
I've learned that
So they feel like it's hard. Maybe we feel like it's hard too. I'll be watching a new Netflix show with my wife, and it gets really suspenseful in the first episode. She's like, "Baby, what's happening?" I'm like, "Well, baby, I don't know. I'm watching the same show you're watching." It's not the right answer. She wants to know something's coming up, and then you're going to defend her. It's all a TV show. It's not real.
Well, I remember being at probably high school age and realizing that I I'd grown up in a different type of household. I mean, my parents, but especially my dad, was always emphasizing that, you know, that there shouldn't be, you know, differences, and, you know, women are equally capable of doing anything a man, you know, that people can do anything they want, and it's just because he came from a background where both his parents were educators. You know, my mom was raised by a single mom, and so I saw women as strong, capable, you know, running the household, running the family, and then realizing that's there's a lot of people have a very different experience, and that they see roles as being much more, much less equality in those roles of being submissive, you know, and so I mean I realized that I was very I was blessed to have that experience and have that, you know, and I have an older sister and a younger sister, and we never thought of, well, you know, John is the son, so he's the best child. You know, it was like we were all equal, and it was all based upon our abilities and our work.
Yep. All right, give it up for the men. Yeah. All right. Talk to each other. What do you think? What came out of this conversation?
A little paternalistic.
Huh?
A little bit paternalistic.
Yeah. And it always depends. So sometimes I get challenged on our programs. I love when I get challenged, all right? Because some people are like, well, I think it'd be different, which is someone said to me maybe about 4 years ago. I think it'd be different, Justin, if you let the men go first, all right? Because what normally happens is it didn't happen to you today. Y'all are also well-behaved. All right? I let the women go first, and they say all these horrible things about men, all right? And then the men get so jazzed up that they then say everything horrible about the women. And somebody was like, Justin, this entire activity would be different if you had the men go first and had the women go last. I was like, all right. So for 2 years straight, I let the men go first. This is what my program looked like. All right, men, we're going to talk about women. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Women can't say anything. Conversation topic is about women. Men, go. I mean, they smell good. My mom's a woman, I think. That's all I got. Then the women would get their turn, and what do you think the women did? They did the same exact thing. So, my question is, what does that tell us about our society and how we view someone of the opposite gender?
There's a power structure.
There is a power structure. Does it benefit men or does it benefit women? Do women actually have things that they can complain about that are real, true, lived experience things? See that hand going up?
I think it does, but I thought back to what Bill said about not feeling comfortable in, like, complimenting someone. And in this case, me as a woman, I don't have any qualms about telling a man or a woman, if you have something nice, I've done it before. It's like, oh, that looks good. And I thought that's kind of sad that you have to be careful even to make a compliment. And so in that case, maybe being a woman, I am privileged in the fact that people don't think that I'm trying to hit on them if I say, you look nice today.
Anybody know Bill?
Anybody?
Right. It goes back to that you good, all right? Versus, you look nice today versus, nice today.
Yeah, that would not go.
All right? That would be not okay.
So I was going to say though, and for that though, I think that can then come to those microaggressions though, wherein those men who they only ever compliment you on your appearance and you never hear anything about the work you produced. That was a great idea, your contribution was excellent.
Right.
It's always focused on you as an object and less about you as an individual person who's adding to the program.
Yeah. What do y'all think about that? Would you be offended? I'm just going to use it again. If Bill came up and said, hey, you look nice today.
Bill would say it in a nice thing. There's no way.
I would definitely prefer that he would did not say it.
Right. And your comfort level comes again from building. There are people, there's women that I work with, they look nice. I ain't telling them. I'm gonna be in HR, I'm not going. But I have friends that when they look, but I have colleagues that I've had over the years, when they look, I'm like, you look good today. What's happening today? They're like, oh, I got a date. I'm like, all right, do your thing. Good luck. All right.
You know, I have a very good friend who's blind, totally blind, been blind his whole life. One day, he asked me, he said, have you lost weight?
I'd take it.
Well, I asked him why he asked me that.
What'd he say?
Well, he takes me by the elbow and he said, well, your elbow is slimmer.
Is the correlation that he's blind?
I know. I'm looking for it, just like you're looking for it. I'm like, do our elbows really get bigger? Is it 'cause- oh, right?
Yeah, when you get fed, you get fed. You get it around here.
Okay.
I have more than
But I tried to take the compliment. I tried not to assume that someone is going. I assume positive intent, unless I have reason to think something otherwise.
Okay.
Now, if I came in looking like a slob and somebody told me I looked nice, I would probably think they were being sarcastic. But, you know, I try not to. I know that I'm guilty sometimes, but, you know, I try to. Now, but I will say, being a supervisor, I definitely also school myself because I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. So I generally try to keep my compliments to work-related things because I don't want to do anything that's going to make anybody uncomfortable.
Right.
And I also don't want to do anything that's going to either get me in trouble or get the university in trouble.
Okay.
And sometimes it's sad that you have to police yourself like that.
Yeah. Well, right now we're just talking about compliments. I mean, we're even talking about empathy. How many of you, humanistically, when you see someone crying, you just want to come up and just give them a hug? People don't want to be touched. I learned that today. So listen, people have things. How about when you see someone who's crying, you just want to go and comfort them, or you don't want someone to be crying. Sometimes our humanistic things and patterns and behaviors we are taught are not appropriate when they come to certain areas. But you can know when they are appropriate when you build. All right. We are running out of time, people. There were like at least 4 or 5 more activities. Y'all know we played about 15 games today, right? Did you realize that? If you think about it, that was quick, huh? I'm trying to think because I want to leave some time for questions and answers. Yeah, we'll just go with this. We'll make this. Well, I got 2 more activities. We'll make this. This is a funny one. While we're on the subject of gender, I went to Slippery Rock University. It's a real place. Your Jeopardy question.
I have a colleague from there.
Oh yeah, it's a real place. All right, and it has some historical foundations too, like one of George Washington. Yes, first fights were in Slippery Rock, PA, and they didn't know the area, and they were slipping on the rocks when they were fighting the indigenous people. Yes, Slippery Rock. All right, it's a real thing. You can actually stay in the cabin where George Washington stayed in. Yeah, not for me. But I took this women's studies course where we learned about something called women's suffrage. If you're against women's suffrage, by a show of hands, raise your hand. Against women's suffrage. Raise your hand. Okay. So a couple hands went up, then they looked around, so I won't call you out. All right, I'll do this to audiences all around the country. People raise their hand. I'm like, why do you think women's suffrage? They're like, 'cause it's terrible. It shouldn't happen. I'm like, oh, I don't want women to suffer. My mom's a woman. Okay, great. All right. Women's suffrage means right for women to vote. What I call this little activity is called changing the message. And what I do is, and I don't have time to do it today. This is actually part 1. We'll talk about that later. This is part 1 of presentation. This presentation has 4 different parts. But what I'll do is I'll trick people. I'm like, women's suffrage is terrible. We should end it. There should be equality. And people are just hearing the words, but they're not really listening to what I'm saying. And I'll have a whole audience of people being like, women's suffrage is terrible. We shouldn't do this. It's awful. All right. Then I tell them what women's suffrage is, and they're like, called framing the message. However you frame the message is how people hear the message. And I feel like that's the most interesting and divisive tool that's being used today. Most importantly and most prevalently in our political system. If I can frame it a certain way and scare you a certain way, then you'll lean more towards this way. Or if I can say something in some way, you'll believe it this way. So, regrettably, in 2008, that's when I was a sophomore in college, yeah, my age, I didn't know what women's suffrage was. So when we're thinking about women's suffrage and they're like, yeah, they wanted suffrage, I was like, why would they want to suffer? Like, what is this? All right? Turned out it was women's voting. Clearly, I couldn't have been the only person who didn't think that. So what I did for my women's studies project at the end of the semester was I went around with a petition to end women's suffrage. Got 150 signatures. Pokemon got to catch them all. And what I did was I filmed my experience. All right? Talk about framing the message. Because today, I framed a message to you. Okay? The message for some was framed because they never heard it before. But for some people who lived the experience, this was completely unframed. Because they were like, this is my life. So, what I did was I recorded my experience so you could all see it today. So let's take a watch. Now again, this is 2008. So obviously I'm going to look a little different. Laugh. You're fine. Good morning, Human Diversity class. I'm Justin, and today we're going to be talking about sexism and democracy. There's a horrible epidemic going on in today's world. It's called women's suffrage. If you're against women's suffrage, by a show of hands, raise your hand. That's very interesting, because the actual definition for women's suffrage is not women suffering, it's women's ability to vote. Now, of course, some of you might not have caught that. We thought that was pretty funny, so we're actually going to show you a couple clips of also other people not knowing what women's suffrage is. Let's take a look. Right here is our petition to end women's suffrage. We have our first signer. This is Jenna. What do you think about women's suffrage?
I think it's terrible, and I'm going to sign a petition to help end it.
What do you think about women's suffrage? Well, do you think we should end it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Because it's a very sad thing.
Very sad indeed. What's even more sad is that you guys don't know the actual definition for women's suffrage.
Can you tell me the definition, Justin?
Women's right to vote.
Okay.
What do you think about women's suffrage?
I just think it's like bad. It shouldn't happen. Like, women shouldn't have to suffer.
Yeah, I agree.
For anything.
Do you know what women's suffrage is?
Not really.
Women's suffrage is the right to vote.
The right to vote? Oh, okay.
Would you guys like to help us sign it? You know, what do you think about women's suffrage?
Isn't that the right for women to vote?
Ding, 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 ding.
I don't want to end women's suffrage.
Yo, what do you think about women's suffrage?
Fucking sucks.
Yeah, why does the women's suffrage suck?
Because, let me tell you something. All women's lives, women stepped on and treated like garbage, not given any rights, even way back to the 1800s. I'm over it. I'm so done with it. Got my rights. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep voting. So there we go.
Keep moving, keep voting. What do you think about women's rights?
Love it.
So women's suffrage.
Well, I definitely think that everyone is entitled to equal rights.
So do you agree with women's suffrage? Okay. Well, actually, what you just signed right now, women's suffrage means women's right to vote. So what you actually did was sign a petition to end women's voting.
Oh, are you serious?
Alright, we're here with Tracy. You guys all know and love her. Tracy, today we are signing a petition to end women's suffrage. We want it to completely be over. Do we have your support?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay. What do you think about women's suffrage?
I think it's about time that somebody, takes a stand for it. Always getting pushed around by the man. Yeah.
I agree. Would you like to help us sign our petition? Petition to end women's suffrage, Okay. Would you mind helping our movement?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What do you know about women's suffrage?
Not a whole lot.
Well, what do you think it is?
Women suffering, women not getting treated.
And you want to end it?
Yeah.
Why should we end it?
Because men and women should get treated equal.
Do you agree with women's suffrage?
Yeah.
Which one?
She got it. She knows. Suffrage.
And women's suffrage?
Yes.
Thought a woman had the right to vote.
Yes. Got him. Alright, basically right here, what we have right now is a petition to end women's suffrage. What do you guys think about women's suffrage?
Don't know much about it.
Well, do you agree with women's suffrage?
No, what is it? I don't know about it.
You said you don't. Why don't you?
I believe they have pretty much equal rights.
Okay, well basically...
Oh yeah, they don't make it much.
Well basically the petition right now is to end women's suffrage. So if you would like to sign, you can be number 18. So we're trying to get about 1,000 people so we can end women's suffrage. Alright, right now we're here with...
Robert Schwanbeck.
Alright, we have a petition right here to end women's suffrage. Would you like to help us out in our cause?
Alright.
Alright, what do you think about women's suffrage?
What about it?
What do you think it's right?
I'm not educated. No, of course not, dude.
Why isn't it right?
Because everybody has human rights, and they need to be recognized.
I agree. What's women's suffrage?
Women's right to vote.
All right, we got one.
Petition
Good job.
to end women's suffrage. What do you guys think about women's suffrage?
Oh, it's women's voting! No, it shouldn't end!
Got it. All right, basically what we have right here right now is a petition to end women's suffrage. What do you think about women's suffrage?
I think it is something that needs to be over. I think women are just as good. I'm not going to say if not better, because then that would make me sexist. But I'm going to say, are you recording? I'm going to say women are just as good as men and can do everything men can do. So I feel that women deserve equal rights.
Okay. Now, what you're actually signing right now is a petition to end women's suffrage, and women's suffrage is actually women's right to vote.
Okay.
So you just signed a petition to end women's right to vote.
Don't wanna be an American idiot.
What you think? Yeah. Hey, listen, you don't have to take an intelligence test before you vote. You don't have to. Yes. You know what's crazy? We laugh at the people who are making up, signing up for something that's not right. But again, we're not looking at the individual's hearts. The difference between intent and impact. The intent was, I want to stop women from suffering. The intent is, I want to stop things from being unequal. I want to create equity. But we judge these people for signing up for these false connotations, but we sign up for false connotations every day. Again, take your index finger, point to yourself and say, I'm a little prejudiced. Point to the person next to you and say, and you a little bit prejudiced too. Alright? We all have things that we need to work on. Last activity. You need to stand up, find someone you don't really talk to that often. Y'all taught me that I can't say don't know, since y'all know each other. All right. How many of you, by a show of hands, have ever made a New Year's resolution before? Do you have a partner? Do you have a partner? Do you have a partner? Who doesn't have a partner? Raise your hand. You can make a group of 3. You'll be able to. All right. How many of you, by a show of hands, have ever made a New Year's resolution before? Raise your hand. How many of you have failed that New Year's resolution? Awesome. All right. I think that we fail our resolutions because we don't have people to hold us accountable. Until today. Face your partner, shake their hand. Congratulations. This is your new 2019 accountability partner. All right. As a result of today's training, I hope that you all learned something that you could take something with you. All right. Hope there were a lot of takeaways for you. But what I want you to think about is, what is something about yourself that you want to change? All right. The big thing that we talked about during the training. What's the change? The change only has to start intrusively with yourself. All right? So, take something to do. All right? So what are you going to do? So before the session's over, I need y'all to exchange numbers. I want you to go to lunch sometime next week with your accountability partner. I want this conversation to continue. It does you no good if I come in and have a one-time conversation with you and I leave, I go back to Philly, go Eagles, and never see me again, and then this was a one-time conversation. The conversation needs to continue. So what I want to hear from you today is, what is something about yourself, maybe your department, or campus that you want to change? You're going to share that with your accountability partner, and they're going to hold you accountable to that change. Now, if she says, I want to change blah, 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 and she tells her this, and then she fails at that, is she the only one that fails? Who else would fail? Because you're supposed to hold each other accountable for that change. All right? Take a minute or two, talk with your accountability partner, then you'll take the accountability check with me. Go.
I guess I'm going to be more of a school. I just want to go back to my normal self.